Hello and welcome to Creative Leads OS. My name is Ben, I'm your host, and I wanted to make a quick intro to give you a bit of briefing about what you're about to learn. Who am I? And kind of what's going on, why you're here, what you're about to learn. So let's jump into it, shall we? So what we're going to cover, who am I, which is handy if you're going to learn from me, my achievements, my accolades, why you should listen to me, and then Creative Leads OS, the course you're about to jump into and what you're going to learn. So, warning. This is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video, don't skip, and don't fast forward. And pro tip, watch the video 1.5 speed. If you're one of those people that like to watch it in double speed, you can. However, I do speak quite quickly, so, do that at your own risk. Cool, so my name's Ben Lawton, and this is me. This was a few years ago in my custom-built studio on a cyclorama with some of the kit that we had at the time. And please excuse my robust and aggressive ankle biters. They're not supposed to be that aggressive. If I could Photoshop them, I would. And this is me. You can see here. And this is the crew. On the far right, you have Dan, who was my business partner. That's who I sold the company to. And then you have some of the employees who work with us in between us. And then we had the company van and our electric cars and the office behind, just to give you a bit of context. And this is me, Dan, and Josh. Josh's been our first employee, still there now. On a really cool shoot, we did a trike going through a shopping center at nighttime kind of video. It was pretty sick. And these are some of the clients we've worked with, right? So we've like Epic Games, National Trust, UK Space Agency, GWR, Howden, Ariat, just to kind of reel off some names for you to give it a bit of steez, but we work with loads more like that. And then in the year that I left, we scaled the company to $500,000 per year, just under $500,000. So timeline. How on earth did I get to that, and how on earth did I, achieve those things, right? So 2017, Dan and I started the company, and we started it by filming a half marathon in Swindon, where we're from, completely free. We basically had a conversation with the hosts, and they'd already hired another videographer to do it. So we were like, oh fuck it, let's just go and film it ourselves. So we did. We filmed it that day, and then we put it out same day, and it went viral. It had like 35,000 views within 24 hours on Facebook, which back then was, I mean, you 30K on a Facebook video back then, you're doing absolute numbers. So me and Dan thought, hey, there's something going on here. Why don't we start something? So we did, and then come 2018, we were basically full-time videographers, video creators, and this is us in the Lake District. That's me taking a photo of a guy called Barry, and we're up there filming and doing photography and videography for the National Trust. That was for a docu-series, 14-part docu-series, where we basically went up and down the country, interviewing members and just getting absolutely stunning B-roll, as you can see there. Like, it was just such an awesome gig. 2019, we bought our Land Rover Defender, and we kitted it out with black alloys, glass, vinyl, logos, you name it, we had it. We just wanted something that looked like, without the branding, we wanted to look like we either sold drugs or we were an arms dealer. And I think we probably hit it. So we did put a logo on there just to make sure that people knew, oh, it's the film company, right? But that was like a big milestone for us. 2020, we were away in Lisbon on a little business trip, and we thought, fuck it, maybe now's the time to hire. So we did. We started hiring. And then in 2021, we moved into our new office, which was around 1,200 square foot. We built a 9-meter wide cyclorama. We built a podcast studio, meeting room, kit room, office, lounge, like everything you can kind of think of to host clients, do shoots, etc. like that. Grew the team to 4 in 2022. We have Dan, Max, Joss, and myself just in front of the office there. And then in 2023, you can see that the kit and the expansion of the business as a whole is starting to grow, starting to creep up. Like we had loads of cranes, C70s, Reds, Sigma lenses. I mean, to people who aren't videographers, this isn't going to mean anything to you, but we started to get a substantial amount of kit. And then in 2024, I sold. I made the decision. I was like, Dan, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't feeding my appetite. This isn't what I want to do with my life. So, let's come to an arrangement. Help me. Why don't you buy me out of the company? And that's basically what we did. So, achievements. What happened during those times? Well, there wasn't anything too crazy. In 2020, I won Young Entrepreneur of the Year for the Southwest, which is obviously really, really cool. That's me and Dan getting the award. In 2022, I was basically shortlisted and enrolled into a Help to Grow program by the UK government. They basically funded 95% of it, and it was for a special list of people who, I can't remember the exact criteria, but you had to be turning over a certain amount of revenue and have a certain amount of employees, and you basically got put on this training to, increase your entrepreneurialism and teach you all these things that, bigger businesses have. And that was really cool. And then 2024, for me, my biggest achievement was just exiting the company. And, me and Dan remain really good friends to this day, as do me and the guys from Otter. And for me, that was huge because, you can imagine going through like a buyout where your business partner's buying you out and a business partner is leaving the company. That can go sour really, really fucking easy. And the fact it didn't is just it's a testament to Dan and I's friendship. And I'm so happy it went that way. That's why I basically put it in achievements. Cool. So Creative Leads OS. What is it? What is it about? How is it going to help you? Well, let's jump into it. So the reason I've made it is because I wanted to start helping other creatives that had this problem with lead gen. And that is a photo of me in 2018 doing a talk about social media marketing and how to get leads for our social media. And ironically, we landed one of our biggest clients at the time from me doing that talk. A lady came up to me and said, "Oh, I work at this company. I'd love to get you in to do a video, blah, 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 blah." And we'd never done a video for a company of this size. They were a unicorn. They would turn over like £4 or £5 billion a year, which is absolutely it's just crazy that someone like that was at this talk. But you just don't know who you're talking to half the time, and that's the point. But yeah, so I realized what happened with leads, especially for creative people, because working with Dan and working with like the other people that I work with in the industry of creatives, they are really, 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 really good at their creative field because they love it and they enjoy it. The downside and the problem is they're naturally just not very good at business. Like a lot of creatives I speak to, they just say they hate people and they're introverted, but they just want to make stuff, which is fine, right? But if you want to make it your passion, if you want to make it your job and your craft, and you want to make good money out of it, you can, because people are willing to pay you for your creative flow, but you have to have more of a business entrepreneurial mindset. And I can teach you that, and I'm going to teach you that. So Creative Leads OS, I also wanted to build a community. I wanted to build a community of people who were like me or were like Dan or like other creatives who wanted help in kind of realizing and achieving their dreams and their goals. And I realized that, being a non-creative in a creative field, because I'm very much numbers, business acumen, financial, operational things driven, like I'm very efficient and I care about results and all this sort of stuff. That made me kind of like a unique cog in the creative world where I would love just to sit down for 14 hours and do the business side of things rather than sit down and edit or do design or stuff like that. Like that just didn't really resonate with me very much. And I realized I had a bit of a unique offering there that I could help other creatives with the things that I love to do, just like creatives can help me with their creative stuff. So I wanted to build a community of people like that I could help and just have a bit more fulfillment in my life again. And lastly, I wanted to put creatives back in the power seat, right? So it's such a shame in the industry because creative people, they bring so much to the table, but because of a few things like market saturation, which you can or cannot believe is happening, I think it is happening, but it doesn't have to affect you at all. And then, I don't like, there's a lot of creatives out there who work with clients who just don't value their work, and they'll just compete on price. They'll say, look, I love what you can do, but I need you to come cheaper because someone else can do it cheaper. That's a terrible place to be, because as a creative, if you're good at your craft, you should be paid what you're worth, and you should be paid for the amount of love and attention you can put into something. And more importantly, most importantly of all, is the results you can drive from your creative craft. And this is something that a lot of creatives really want to, they wanted to stay away from in the industry. A lot of creatives I've spoken to are like this. They want to make, but they don't want to have the thing they make have to give a result. Videographers are very skeptical about making a video that is going to drive sales, boost conversions, get clicks, or this sort of thing, because it's hard to guarantee, or it's hard to guarantee until you know what you're doing properly. Same with designers. Designers, they might be tasked with making a workflow or a website that is going to funnel people down to the bottom of the page, right? And like they can do that, but they don't want to put guarantees behind that. And the clients that want to pay you more money, the clients that will pay you a lot of money, are the clients that are after results and they're after deliverables and what you can guarantee. So that's Creative Leads OS. Jump in now. It's completely free. I built it out for free, and we're going to go through everything from lead generation, all the different types, referrals, mindset, loads of other stuff from there. Why I think creatives struggle in this industry. Why I think creatives are not very good at getting leads. But yeah, guys, there's a lot of value. It's completely free. If you don't enjoy it, doesn't matter. You don't pay for it. If you do enjoy it, let me know. The results are in the work. So get after it. Cheers. Hello, guys. Welcome to Creative Lead OS, Video 1, Creatives and Lead Generation. Ironically, two things that do not get on typically, two things that do not connect typically. And I want to tell you why. So if you're a creative and you're watching this, which I hope you are, if you're watching this, you're going to resonate with what I'm about to say. On the left here, we have a struggling creative, probably you. And on the right here, we have a creative person who is flourishing, making loads of money, got a pipeline full of clients. What's the difference between them, right? It's literally lead generation, business acumen, entrepreneurial spirit, and, things that you can implement that would make you better at business. A lot of creatives have this wrong way of thinking where they think the better they get at their craft, the better designer they become, the better videographer they become, the better photographer they become, the better they get at making websites, whatever it is, that they're going to get paid more. And that's only really true at the start. And then after that, it just comes down to how good at business you are and the kind of value you bring. Because once you get to a level 3 out of 10 in terms of a creative business, once you understand how to use a camera properly, or you understand how to make design properly, that fits within UI and UX and all this sort of stuff, then it becomes less about your craft and more about the value you bring and how you position yourself, right? And you'll notice this day in, day out, and I'm sure I'm going to hit some buttons here. You know other creatives in your field who maybe aren't as good as you, or maybe they're not as good as other people that you know, for example, but they get paid more. They can make a lot more money. They got a lot more clients, right? It's not because it's not because of their creative level. It's because of what's in this course about getting lead generation, about getting, providing value. That's what it comes down to. And for some reason, creatives just hold on to this idea that if they could just get better at their craft, then they'll break through this barrier and get paid more and have more leads. And it's just not, that's not the answer. That's not how you do it. You have to get better at business. Luckily for you, you're in the right fucking place. I'm about to teach you it. So here's what we're going to cover today in this video. Awkward feelings around pricing. Lack of clear positioning. Inconsistent client acquisition methods. And limited focus on sales and follow-up. That sound good? Cool. Warning, this is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video. Don't skip. Don't fast forward. Pro tip, watch the video at 1.5x speed. You can watch it at 2x if you want, but I warn you, I speak quickly, and it might be a load of gibberish at that speed, but, I implore you to give it a go. So, awkward feelings around pricing. Creatives, typically, are introverts. If you're not an introvert, this probably still applies to you. A lot of creatives I've spoken to, and I had this experience working with Dan and other creatives, is they just feel fucking awkward about pricing. They feel awkward having conversations of like, oh, I can design that for you. Someone says, how much? And they'll leave a buckle and say, I had to do it for free. Or they'll say a super cheap number because they don't want to make someone feel that they're being ripped off, right? And, I get it. I understand that feeling. I don't relate to the feeling, but I understand it. And what we need to be very clear on, guys, if you want to get better leads and better sales, is we need to move away from this feeling. And we need to start shifting our beliefs away from being this anxious person who doesn't want to put certain numbers forward because they're scared of what people are going to think, what people are going to say. And we need to start positioning ourselves in our minds and our beliefs of like, yeah, I am worth this price. I am worth these prices, because I can deliver on that, right? And this is something that we are going to go through in some of the mindset training. But, first and foremost, it doesn't matter what I teach you in this course. This is what we need to start on, is like having this feeling inside us that we are worth more. We can charge more, and we're worth that money, okay? So let's, have that in the back of your mind, plant that seed, start watering it every day, start giving yourself affirmations because they fucking work. But we'll go into that more in the mindset training. But I wanted to start with that. Start feeling like that, guys. So, lack of clear positioning. This is by far the biggest problem with creatives and people in business in a whole. in a whole, as a whole. So, undefined target audience. Who are we talking to? What problems are we solving for them? What messaging do they resonate with? What platform do they sit on? How can we find them? What the fuck am I talking about? What I'm basically trying to say to you, if you're a videographer and you are just someone who makes videos for the entire market, how on earth do you do messaging that attracts the entire market? All you can say is, I make videos for everyone, right? What problem do you solve? Oh, I solve a problem when you need a video, I can make it for you. Cool, that's a very baseline problem, and also you're competing with fucking everyone in the market. Terrible idea, guys. We want to be very specific about who we're talking to. We are a person who solves this problem in this industry by doing X for this person. And we want to be as niche as possible. If you can get yourself into a niche that is just you're a niche of one, and you can charge whatever the fuck you like, because there is no competition. Someone says to you, no one's going to say to you, this person's cheaper, this person's more expensive, because you are literally the entire market. And we need to focus on, what problem are we solving for people, and we need to figure out what messaging do they resonate with, right? If you have someone who owns a real estate company and you're a photographer, and the problem they have is they can't get consistent, reliable, high-quality photographs on the fly. So the messaging that's going to resonate with them is, I'm a photographer who works up north in the UK, for example, in France or US, wherever you're watching this from, and I can come out, I can do high-quality photos, I can do drone, and I can get it to you within 24 hours. And they're all HDR, really nice photos. That's the messaging you're hitting with, because you understand what your dream clients are looking for. And we're going to go into this in way more detail. So if you don't get it yet, don't worry. And then we need to be aware of what platforms our clients are on and how can we find them? How can we talk to them, right? So another big problem is you have super generic service offerings. So going back to that, we make videos for the entire market. So does everyone else. Generic. Jack of all trades, master of none. If you want to get paid big money, you need to be the master of one. You can get masters of two, but you want to be master of one. Fuck the jack of all trades. No one cares if you're a 6 out of 10 across the board. We are looking for people that are 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, killers, right? Riches are in the niches. And I hate saying that because I'm a Brit and it should be riches in the niches. And you can't say rishis in the niches. That's just terrible. So riches in the niches, for my Brits out there, I'm sorry, it is niches. It sounds nicer, but you get the gist. Generic offerings attract generic clients. Specific offerings attract specific clients. The more specific, the more you can charge. Think of an entry-level surgeon. They are just doing all these things. They're learning different crafts they can do within being a surgeon. They're doing all the basic operations, right? Then you have a pediatric surgeon who works specifically on kidneys. So they work with children, and specifically children's kidneys. Very specialist. There's probably not many people in the country who specialize in that. Maybe 1 or 2 surgeons. They get paid the big fucking bucks because they niched. They're not jack of all trades. They are master of one. Inconsistent brand messaging. So creatives are really bad at this. Creatives are even fucking amazing at this or terrible at this. So you need to find your brand voice and stick to it across all platforms, consistently on profile photo, name, and offering. So what do I mean by that? If it's not obvious to you, is if you're on 2 or 3 different social medias and your website and your branding that you have, perhaps online or in your shop or whoever you are, needs to be consistent across the board. Branding color is exactly the same profile photo, name, offering, everyone. It doesn't matter where someone sees you. They know who you are, they know what you do, and they know who you do it for. It's super crystal clear. And there's a lot of inconsistency across social media about people doing different types of content on different platforms, which is fine, but you have to keep the messaging the same. And missing uniqueness. This is something that I was so shit at for a long time until I met Dan. And I realized that I can't really show my uniqueness through text very well. I'm very much a visual, video-esque person. Ironically, I got into video. That's why it works so well. But I'm much better on camera. I'm really comfortable talking to camera. And when it comes to written text, I would be a shit person on Twitter because I'm just shit at writing, right? So I had to learn to lean into my uniqueness. So without a clear uniqueness, your brand will blend in the others offering similar services. So we want to identify what makes us different and communicate that distinct advantage to capture attention in a crowded market. It's so important to show uniqueness across across your channels, guys, and like it is such an unfair advantage. So remember, your personality is your biggest unfair advantage. This is something that you need to lean into. If you don't lean into it, you are just simple. You're boring, right? And if you're like that, if you're not showing personality, you're just going to blend in. Like, you know, imagine everyone on social media is a blank piece of paper, right? And you start posting content that has no personality or nothing towards who you are as a person. You'll just have another piece of paper. The more personality you can put on that canvas, that piece of paper, the more color you add to it, the more shapes you add to it, the more definition you add to it. And, you know, it becomes very easy to spot you from further and further away, the more personality and brand consistency you have. So guys, like, you know, you might, if you're sat there thinking, oh, I've got a shit personality, you don't at all. You know, you just need to realize and think, how can I get my personality across in my messaging, in my branding, in my socials? That is in an advantage to who I'm trying to talk to and the kind of offer that I'm trying to talk to. So next, inconsistent client acquisition methods. What that basically means is you don't have a lead generation machine that's consistent or works. So first is over-reliance on referrals. Relying solely on referrals will lead to unpredictable client flow. Work will come in waves. You're either too busy or you're too quiet. Sound familiar? The fix is to diversify strategies. We need to think like an investor. You know, investors, they don't just put 100% of their money into one stock. They diversify. You know, they'll put 5% in Nvidia, 10% in Microsoft, 20% in the S&P 500, you know, and when one stock does bad, it doesn't matter because the rest of the portfolio is holding it up. Same with lead gen. We can't rely on just one method alone unless you are very unique in the market and your offerings are unique, but forget about that. We want to have different ways of getting leads through, different systems, and the ones that work, we put more and more money or time into them, but we also have to keep the other ones afloat. Like referrals, you know, no one should only rely on referrals. Does that mean you should never do referrals? Fuck no. Referrals is one of the best ones by far. And I built a $500,000 a year company on referrals as well as other things. But like if I had removed referrals from it, it never would have got that big. Referrals is killer, but we can't rely on it. So lack of defined strategy. Without a structured approach, client acquisition becomes inconsistent and inefficient. We need to create a clear strategy to build a predictable system that attracts clients. And a really great quote I read in a Stoicism book about this is, when a man knows not his destination, no wind is favorable. What does that mean? Basically means if you're on a boat, a sailboat, and you have no fucking idea where you want to go, it doesn't matter what kind of wind you get because nothing's really going to be in your advantage. Nothing's really helping you because you don't know where you're going. If the wind comes from the west, doesn't matter. I don't know where I'm going. And this is what I'm trying to say. You need to have a defined strategy with what you're trying to do. Because then when things come along that could help you, you know if they're going to help you because they fit within your strategy. And you know when things come along that don't help you, you know they don't help you because they don't fit within your strategy. So we need to get very clear on how we define these and what the strategy is going to be, and then we fucking nail it. Infrequent outreach efforts. The problem with outreach, guys, is it's very good. It will get you results. It takes work. The problem with outreach is that you have to do it consistently. And I don't mean you got to do, you know, every other day you got to do, I mean, you got to do it daily. Daily for half an hour to 60 minutes, up to 2 hours if you really want. If you want to grow, you need to put that time in. So sporadic outreach leads to sporadic results. Surprise, surprise. We want to approach this like the gym. Daily to 30, 60 minutes, consistency compounds. They may not be ready to buy from you now, but in 2 months they might be. One of the biggest lessons I learned around year 2, year 3 at my video company is when we were posting consistent content online is, you know, people would follow us and they'd like us and they think, oh, these guys are cool, I'll follow them. And we used to post like a weekly vlog as well as other content and stuff. And what happens is we'd end up getting called by, you know, this new client or an email, and there's like, oh, can you come in for a meeting? We want X amount of work, blah, 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 blah. And we'd go and sit down, we meet them. It's like, oh, how did you guys hear about this? And they were like, oh, we saw your vlog or we saw this piece of content and we started following you. And then 6 months later, we got a marketing brief from Top Dog for we needed a video. And we thought, oh, we follow those guys. Let's get them in. So it wasn't about us making, you know, there wasn't a single piece of content that landed us the client. They watched that piece of content at the start. They started following, and then they just became warm leads for 6 months. But then when they were ready to hit the bill, they had already seen maybe a piece of content from us from that day or the day before, and we were warm in their mind. So when they got a brief from their table that said they need a video, instantly pops up like, oh, I saw that post about the video guys today. I should contact them. They don't go onto Google and start looking for video companies, and then you're competing against the entire market. They know, they remember who you are. And that's why having, frequent kind of efforts is going to really compound. Cool. So failure to track and analyze. This is the other big thing. Is if you're not measuring what works, it's hard to improve your approach. We must track methods and see what's working, then double down on those efforts. Different strategies work differently for different people. So there's a twofold point that I want to raise here. If you're not tracking what's working, how on earth are we going to know what to put more time and money into? If you're someone who's doing cold outreach and you're getting no results, but your organic content is bringing leads in, what should we do? More importantly, if your organic content is bringing leads in, but only a specific type of content that's doing it, let's make more of that content and fuck off the other content that isn't working, right? That's what we need to track. And if it comes to cold outreach, we're realizing like, oh, I am getting leads, but only from this side of the market, from these sort of people. And I'm only getting it when I'm talking about X. Okay, cool. Let's do more on that. Let's track and analyze. That might sound really obvious to you, but you'd be surprised how many people don't do it. They just come out the gates and just start DMing people and spamming and not really realizing what's working. And they get a lead and they think, great, a lead, more. And it's like, no, focus, bring it down, niche down your efforts into stuff that's working, right? Second point, different strategies work differently for different people. Dan was an excellent person at outreach. He was incredible. He would just come in one day. He's like, oh yeah, I got this lead from LinkedIn. I've been chatting to this guy. And I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? And I was really good at organic content, referrals, testimonials, kind of growing the company that way, paid ads, that sort of thing. And what I'm trying to say is like, we're going to go into the 4 different lead acquisition types, and there's going to be stuff that I want you to try all 4 of them, but there's going to be stuff that you're going to find way easier to do sustainably. You're going to enjoy them way more. They might fit your niche better. For example, if you're a videographer, like doing content and ads is going to work really well for you because you can make stuff in-house. Whereas if you're a designer, you might want to go more down the outreach route, but there is no set way, right? You just need to figure out what's best for you, like and your personality type. Next, we have limited focus on sales and follow-up. So, missed opportunities in the follow-up. Think of leads like a cup of tea. I'm a Brit. If you leave them too long, they will go cold. It is blasphemy in England if someone makes you a cup of tea and you let it go cold, right? There's a Goldilocks temperature for these puppies of when it's perfect to drink, just before it gets lukewarm. Like you want it like not hot, but like almost hot. Anyway, I digress. Same with leads, right? If you leave them too long, they'll go cold. They'll forget who you are. They won't want to engage with you. You want to keep the conversation going, right? It's almost like you're courting a lead, courting a client. You don't. If you're chatting to a girl or a guy, you don't just like DM them every 3 months. Like you keep the conversation going. You build up a bit of a rapport. You get to know each other, right? And then you want to implement a follow-up routine to keep potential clients engaged and show them that you're invested in their success. And I've highlighted that because you don't want to just be talking to a client about X, Y, and Z and just shooting the shit. You want to be talking to them and letting them know that you're invested in what they want. If they're a lead that you think, man, I could really help this person. Their website sucks, or their graphic design sucks, their branding sucks, their content sucks, whatever it is. You want to be invested in helping them and helping them deliver. Like, if we improve your content, we might be able to increase your sales by 18%. I've done this with this client. Let's talk about it. And just say like, I can help you. It doesn't have to be hard. Like, let me help you. Right? Having those conversations, like people will open up to you when you have this sort of conversations with them. Lack of a clear sales process. So, a loose or undefined sales process often leads to lower conversion rates. We need to develop a structured sales process that guides both us and clients from first contact through to closing, making each step clear and intentional. So what that basically means is, in sales, they have things called SOPs. And we want to use stuff like that, which basically means when you have someone who's a lead and they maybe jump on a sales call with you or you go for a meeting with them, we want to have a list of questions that we can identify what their problem is and how we can solve it as the expert. And we also want to be very clear of what sort of objections these types of clients are going to have. And we want to have answers in the bank ready to go. Oh, your price is too high. Yeah, but I provide this sort of value. Well, you can't turn it around fast enough. Oh, we have different options where we can, give you that faster for a more cost, blah, blah, blah. Depends what you need, right? We want to be in those meetings set and ready for the objections. We know what objections are coming, so we can answer them a piece of piss. That's what makes you really good at sales. And then it's just that and repetition. Cool. Limited focus on client retention. So sales don't end after the initial project. Satisfied clients can bring repeat business. We didn't put all of the effort in getting to the client to start again. Sorry, we didn't put all that effort in getting the client just to start again. This is why we need to work on retention methods to ensure repeat business. Retainers. The juiciest, sexiest word in the creative aspect is having retainers. Clients are like, yeah, I want to sign you on for 12, 18, 24 months doing the same amount of work, right? And you know that you get a couple of those in, you never got to worry about salary again. All the ad hoc work you do on top is just pure bonus. Everyone's laughing, right? We want to push for retainers because it's a nicer way of living. But in order to get retainers, you need to provide results. You need to provide deliverables. If you're just giving them art every month, but nothing's making them money, these are really fucking hard to sell. Your retainers need to help your companies, your clients grow. Okay, guys, we're going to jump in the next video now. The results are in the work. You fucking got this. Believe in yourself. Start shifting those mindsets. And I'll see you in the next one. Guys, welcome. We are doing market positioning today. I know I say every single video is the most important video, but this one is actually the most important video by far. Because this is the base on which we build our lead gen on, right? Market positioning is the tree trunk and lead gen are the branches. We can't grow branches without a trunk. We have to sort this first. You ever notice on like LinkedIn, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever socials you're on, maybe even in person, you have creatives who are like, oh, there's not enough work. The market's too saturated, blah, 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 blah. It's complete bollocks. It's because they suck at this or they haven't done it, right? This is what we need to sort. This is what we need to fix. And as soon as we do, everything becomes super clear, super obvious. And you'll be like, wow, why didn't I do that sooner? So without further ado, let's jump into it. So here's what we're going to cover. Niche and market. Brand and customer, offer, and messaging. Nice and simple. So warning, this is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video, don't skip, don't fast forward. I actually really mean it this time. Don't skip this one. Pro tip, watch me at 1.5 speed. I actually watched me at 1.5 speed before, and it's way too quick. Also, you notice I'm wearing a beanie this time. Nothing's happened. I'm just recording it on a different day because I basically recorded this video and rewatched it, and I thought, actually, I can make this so much simpler for people to understand. Anyway, niche. Choosing your niche. First, we have to select your target niche. This will encapsulate your skill, your passions, your demand, and in turn, your profit. I'm not going to go into this too much now because we're about to jump into a worksheet which is going to really help you. But this is what we're going to select as where your skills are or where your skills you want them to be, and the kind of work that interests you or aligns with your passions or aligns with like where you want to go and what you want to do in life, right? We're going to put those two together and we're going to find a niche that doesn't necessarily feel like work or as much work as the other niches and is one that you give a shit about. Importantly, like I give a shit about helping creatives. That's my niche. Right? I don't give a shit about helping business owners in the car industry. I don't care. I just want to help other creatives profit and grow their companies because this is what I did for 8 years and I really loved it, and I want to help people at scale. Okay, cool. So we are also going to define our customer avatar. We need to define who we are targeting. This makes everything easier, from content to outreach to onboarding. When we know who we're talking to, we know what to say. It's a bit like if you go on a date with someone and you really like them, right? And you want to, let's just say you want to take them home. If you knew everything about them, you would know what to say to, entice them, to seduce them, for example, right? And that's what we want to do with our leads. We want to seduce them. Seduce them by knowing what their pain points, their desires are. Wants and desires, here we go. We have to understand our avatar's wants and desires. What makes them tick? What do they need solving and why? And why did other solutions not work for them previously? And how can your solution work and why? Now, why did the other solutions not work for them previously? If we get really fucking good at this is really key, because chances are, unless you're in a very unique niche, they will have worked with someone like you before and it hasn't worked out for any reason. And we need to be in a position to say, oh, that didn't work because of this, not because of you. And we're going to fix it this time. And in Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, it's an amazing book around personal branding. He literally says in it, and I've used this and it works very well, is when you have clients who come to you and they say, oh, I really appreciate the offer you've put forward, Ben, but we've worked with so-and-so before, he said the same thing and it didn't work. And it's like, okay, cool. There's two things we've got to do. We have to explain to them why it didn't work and how we are different. And then we throw rocks at that person. We throw rocks at that enemy. We make them, not like we shit on their work and say, oh, he's a knob, don't worry. It's like, we want to position ourselves on their side, like, oh, that didn't work because of this. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do this, right? And align ourselves with the lead, not with the problem that they used to have, because we want to alleviate them of this trauma that they've got, that if they work with someone, if they work with us, we're going to give them the same problem. We want to alleviate that. Now, we're not the same thing. We're not the same person. We want to keep going and do something better. And then we're going to find the right platform. We're not going to find the marketing director for a heritage brand on TikTok. It's important we focus down onto one platform where our customer avatar is. So, creative niche list. Let's jump into that, shall we? Shall we, guys? So let me I'll put me here. So this is a creative niche list that I'm going to give you. And in this, it's just loads of examples of loads of different types of niches, depending if you're in audio, music production, specialized creative skills, web development, digital marketing, writing and content creation, graphic design and branding, videography and photography. Whatever you are, this is just a bit of inspiration about how you could niche down. So you're not just a videographer, you're not just a photographer, you're perhaps a product photographer for e-commerce, you're an event photographer, you're a fitness videographer, you're a social media content designer. Right, you're a sales copywriter for landing pages, right? We're not just copywriters. We specialize in sales copywriting for landing pages. Bonus alert, there's fucking a lot of money in that. YouTube channel growth expert, personal brand strategist, affiliate marketing strategist, right? We're not just digital marketers. We are in a sub niche within the industry and we are experts at it. And we need to be experts at it, guys. Everything becomes easier the more we niche down. And you're going to have this worry of like, oh, Ben, I just worry that if I niche down, I'm going to, close myself off from the entire market. Good. We don't want the entire market, man. The entire market is massive. It's so big. Like, think how big the videography market is. It's gigantic. You don't just say, oh, I make videos for people who need videos. That means you're going to work with people from 6-figure budgets down to £20 budgets. We're not interested in doing that, guys. We're interested in aligning our skills and our passions. Like, let's say that you're a videographer and you fucking love real estate. And you love making money and you love luxury. Okay, cool. We'll be a luxury real estate videographer. And we can nail this down. We're not going to do the odd wedding to keep the money going. We're not going to do the odd corporate lifestyle photography to keep the money coming in. We're just going to get really good at this. We are going to be the best in our area, if not our country, at this. And when you become the best, you can charge whatever the fuck you like. And it's easy to become your best when you're in a sub niche. Like, you don't have, like, the chances of you becoming the world's best photographer, it's just not going to happen. Because A, it's subjective, and B, it's almost impossible because there's so many photographers out there. But you could definitely become the best product photographer for e-commerce within England who specializes in this product, right? All of a sudden, you're a one of one. And if you're a one of one, you charge what you like. Okay, guys, so that's a creative niche list. This will give you some ideas on what you could do. But we also have the creative niche selection worksheet, guys. And this is where we're actually going to find your niche. We're not just going to take one from here. This is just for inspiration purposes. We are going to figure out your niche using ChatGPT. So this is ChatGPT. If you haven't used it, you've obviously been living under a rock. Change that ASAP. We need to fix that. You need to become fluent with this. If you think you're good at Adobe or you're good at Lightroom, whatever your forte is, I want you to become as fluent with this. Because this is what's going to make you a lot of money and make you insane at business. Trust me. Do not think of this as a bad thing. This is a wonderful thing. Okay, so throughout all these examples we're going to do in this course, I'm going to base it on product food photography, and we're going to keep that theme throughout the whole course, the whole module, this whole video, just so you know how we're building it from stage 1 up to stage 10. So write down 5 niches or interests you're deeply passionate about. So for example, product food photography. So please help me write down 5 niches or interests I am passionate about. You can just copy and paste it if you want. My first is product food photography. I am a photographer. Ask me 3 questions to help us understand. Now, this is a hack with ChatGPT. You don't just put prompts in and get it to give you the answer. Get it to ask you questions. And if it asks you questions, you can just answer them. And all of a sudden, ChatGPT is going to learn more and more about you. And you see this memory updated here? I don't know if this is only on the paid account, which I'd really recommend getting, by the way. I'm not an affiliate or anything. Just get this. It's $20 a month. But you see here, memory's updated now, right? So it can ask you questions about what your niche is, what your loves are, your skills, and it will remember it. And the more and more information we put into this model, this engine, the better it gets, the more it understands you and your niche. And when you have problems in 6 months' time and you put them in it, and ChatGPT 5's here, it's going to know you very, very well. It's going to know your problems, your clients, what to say. This almost becomes like a coach of its own. Right, so what types of clients, industries do you most enjoy working with? Restaurants, small businesses, lifestyle brands. I enjoy most working with artisan food companies who give a shit about their product photography and understand the importance of high quality photography in their market. Any particular styles or moods you prefer to capture in photography, like vibrant and colorful? Vibrant, detailed, colorful, and showcasing quality of food. Do you enjoy photographing other types of products beyond food, like cosmetics, tech, gadgets, or fashion items? Just for the sake of the argument, I'm going to say no to that. Okay, cool. So look, we knew that we wanted to work in product food photography, right? But that's just an example. Like, you can literally go into fucking any niche. So we've got artisan food photography, farm-to-table brand photography, seasonal and festival food photography, culinary process photography, beverage photography, or specialty brands. Now, this is a sub-niche, basically, of artisan food photography. And the more and more niche we go, we can, but we also have to do market research about whether there's enough money in it. So what I want you to do, guys, is go through this worksheet. This is all going to be down below, all of these worksheets for you to just use. They're all completely free. Just take them and use them as much as you like. And I want you to go down and write 5 niches, 5 skills areas of expertise you currently have. List the problems, fears, and desires within your chosen niches. So, for example, please give me 4 desires and 4 fears within the artisan food photography industry that I could capitalize on. Also, you see that I'm typing fast here and getting all the words wrong. Spelling, it doesn't matter, it figures it out, which is a good and a bad thing, because it's obviously way faster. But now when I'm texting people on WhatsApp, I do the same thing, and that's not good. Okay, cool. So desires, guys, for artisan food photography, we have exceptional brand representation, enhanced market perception, increased engagement and sales, and seasonal and lifestyle appeal. This is their desires of what they want to solve through things like high quality, vibrant photography. Fears, mediocre or unflattering imagery, blending in with generic brands. Oh yes, and this is why we niche down. Wasting budget on ineffective photography. Again, why we niche down. Missing out on market trends. Again, why we niche down. These things are all really easy to solve when this is our bread and butter. When we're just a generic photographer, it's really hard to know what the market trends are for food photography, because we don't specialize in it. When we specialize in it, we get very good at it, right? And it becomes very easy to solve the problems. And what you'll find is you get paid more for the more expensive problems you solve. So if you're a photographer who just is a photographer and someone wants imagery, you give them imagery. That is a super basic problem you're solving. Whereas if you're kind of come into the artisan product food photography market and you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to solve the problem with these companies not wanting to blend in with generic brands, having mediocre imagery, wasting budget on ineffective photography, and then missing out on market trends. I'm going to solve all 4 of these, right? I'm going to position myself as a guy who solves all 4 of these and gives these companies these desires. Or I'm going to increase their brand representation. I'm going to enhance their market perception. I'm going to increase engagement and sales. Anytime you can offer this, guys, this is how you fucking buy your parents a house. This is how you make a lot of money, especially if you put guarantees on it. Seasonal and lifestyle appeal, right? So I hope that makes sense on what I'm trying to say. So list the problems, fears, and desires for your chosen niches. Identify the most significant problem and the strongest desire in your chosen niche. What do you think these are? Are there any successful creators, influencers, or websites solving the problem that you can get inspiration from? List them below. Okay, so I want you to go out and find them. Tell you what, let's go into LinkedIn right now, and let's type in food photographer. Right. So load all. Tim Young, food and drinks photographer. Let's look at his LinkedIn. Food and drinks photographer. I'm a London-based commercial food and drinks photographer, creating stills and stop motion loaded with color and texture. Right, so this guy's niched into commercial food and drinks photography. You can even say he's location niched as well. So people in London are going to go to this guy. Let's have a look at his stuff, shall we? Nice. It's quite nice. Very, very nice. And as you can see, it's all food, right? You ever go on a photographer's website and it's just like portraits, weddings, cars, product, everything. He's got fucking everything on there. This guy only has food and drink and beverage, right? So if you're a client, if you're an artisan food company, who are you going to go to? You ain't going to go to the photographer that has fucking wedding photography on his website. You're going to go to Tim Young, who specializes in this shit. And because clients go to him, he charges whatever the fuck he wants because he knows he can deliver because this is his forte, right? Also, shout out to Tim Young. These are fucking excellent. I love that Marmite one. Yeah, really nice. To see if he's got an Instagram or anything. Is it on here? Contact info, would it be in there? Instagram. Tim Young, food and stills in motion. Food and drink photographer and director. Yeah, so look, guys, he's niched down into what he wants to do. And he's got some BTS and stuff like that. There's obviously, and look at his content, right? It's nice. Very high quality. And this is all going to speak, like, imagine he gets approached by an artisan food company. They're like, oh, what have you done before? And he just sends them their Instagram. His Instagram. And it's everything they're after, right? It's amazing. Cool. So that's Tim. Anyone else? Who else we got? Scott Grummett, photographer and director specializing in food and drink. Let's look at this guy, shall we? Let's get rid of Tim. Close these down so we're not getting confused. Scott Grummett, photographer and director specializing in food and drink. So we are going to look at contact info. Let's look at his website. Is that a McDonald's brand? How much do you reckon he got paid for that? Absolute bank, I bet. Absolute bank. I should say, though, like, it's nice stuff. It's really nice stuff. But it's not, it's not. As a photographer, I hope you look at this and think, fucking hell, I couldn't do that. You could definitely do this. This is obviously this is high-end stuff, but it's not out of this world, right? He's just become very good at what he does. And because he's become very good at a specific thing, he's getting approached by Heinz, McDonald's, Hellman's, Warburton's, Alpro, like big fucking brands here, guys. He's obviously getting paid very, very, very well. Snickers, I mean, yeah, he's getting. This guy's really sick. What a good find, to be fair. This proves my point perfectly. Food and drink photographer and director. He's niched down and looks like he's nailing it. I mean, absolutely hats off to you, Scott. This is fucking amazing. So if you're thinking, guys, like, oh, how can I come into the market and do this when he's already doing it? This sub-market is massive, right? He's obviously top of his game because he's working with McDonald's and stuff like that. Also, not to put a bit of a downer on it, but like looking at this guy, he's probably mid-30s, late 30s maybe. Is he going to be doing this in 10 years' time? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe he gets bored of it. Maybe he wants to do something else, right? And these people aren't going to be doing this forever. And I can guarantee you in food photography, AI isn't going to replace this because you're not allowed to use any sort of CGI or anything to do food now. It has to be out of camera. You can't fiddle with it. And so AI is going to be exactly the same. This will always be protected. So if you're a food photographer and you're worried about AI, don't. This is foolproof. Cool. Let's have a look at his content. What sort of stuff is he posting? It's been a ridiculous busy couple of years, and I'm always trying and failing to keep up with the constant flow of work. This is a project for the delightful team at Alpro, where we crafted unique breakfast scenes showcasing various product variations. Each image was designed to be vibrant, engaging. Okay, guys, he's complaining about how busy he is. If you didn't need more evidence, if you needed more evidence about why to niche down, this is it. I couldn't make this up. I've come onto it, and we've instantly seen. Amazing. This is exactly what I wanted to show. Okay, cool. So go through these guys and figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it. What did I want to say? There was another point I wanted to raise on this. So yes, this is it. So if you go through this exercise, guys, and you find the niche that you want to work with. For example, let's say that you really want to do product through photography, but you don't have skill in it. You don't know what you want. You don't know how to do it yet. That's fine. I've catered to that as well. So if no, don't stress. Most problems, once clearly defined, can be learned and solved over time. If you answered no, continue to the next step. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this sheet now, and we can work out how we get the skills to acquire these skills to do this job. So work out whatever it is. It doesn't have to be your current skill set. That's the beauty of choosing the creative industry. We can go into whatever the fuck we like, and we'll do market research to make sure what we go into is actually profitable. Don't worry. Like, this is a cheat sheet for anyone who is a beginner creative all the way through to, oh, Ben, I'm quite established, but maybe I want to pivot, or maybe I want to double down on what I'm doing. This is all good stuff that we can do. So I want to go through this worksheet, find out what your niche is, guys, and then we're going to move into the next point. So back into the presentation. I should move myself over here again. Excuse me, guys. Cool. Okay, cool. So it's not about who did it first, it's about who did it right. I think this is a Drake lyric, but he didn't coin it. So don't quote. I'm not going to put Drake like down here. It's not about who did it first, it's about who did it right. So if you're, for example, if you're a product food photographer and you're looking at the guys I just showed you and you think, fuck, these guys are way better than me and they're doing it first, I can't come in. The market's full. Bollocks. It's not. You just have to come in and do something different and offer different value. Right? So you could make the argument that guy we looked at who's doing Mackies and stuff like that, you could argue that he has not gone niche enough. Imagine he niched down even more, and he went fast food only. So he didn't do Alpro or Snick and stuff like that. He only did fast food, and he became the go-to guy in the US, if not the world, for fast food photography. I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm just trying to say, like, there's so many ways you can take this niching stuff up, right? And there's so many ways you can offer value. And maybe with the guys I showed you, they only work in London. Maybe they only work with X, Y, and Z. Maybe they don't offer motion graphics. Maybe they don't offer video services. Whatever it is, like, we can build out your offers to come into the market. I'm not going to say disrupt it, because that's what a lot of gurus will say to do. And, like, to be honest, that's just really fucking hard to do. Disrupting the market is very difficult to do. So just ignore that word. You don't need to disrupt it. You just need to come in and start taking market share by adding additional value or unique value. All right, so let's assume that we found your niche, guys. We understand what you want to go into. You're a product food photographer. You're a designer who's going to go after tech. You're a videographer who's going to do X, Y, and Z. You found a niche, and you're going to research how you can get better at it. Okay? What we need to do first is we need to understand if the market is right for us and if it's going to be profitable, right? So there's 4 ways we do this with a market. The first is we look at pain. Look for a niche where people have a significant painful problem. The stronger the pain point, the more urgent their need to find a solution. A powerful niche is customers actively seeking a fix to a problem that's deeply impacting their life or business. So, do we have artisan food companies who are seeking decent photographers within the industry who can showcase their work and showcase their food in an amazing way? Fuck yeah, we do. If we didn't, we wouldn't have those 2 people we just looked at. They wouldn't exist. They wouldn't have portfolios like that. So do that research for your niche. Next, we have growing. Choose a market that's expanding with an increasing number of people who face this pain or desire. Choose a market that's expanding with an increasing number of people who face this pain or desire the solution. A growing niche means more opportunities and a greater chance of capturing new leads, making it easier to scale and sustain over time. And I'll give you a good example of this. When me and Dan started Otter, we were coming into the age where digital design, digital video was like really starting to fucking take off. It was really starting to boom. And there's a few times when we were doing design and stuff like that where we would go to a printing company to get stuff printed, and this encapsulated this point perfectly, because these guys were dinosaurs. They were once the marketing empire, print, and now they're dying because everything's digital, right? So, like, if you're a creative who wants to get into print, this is where you fall short, because you're not going to be in a growing market, right? We need to make sure we're in a growing market. Food photography, like if you're doing digital, I'd almost guarantee you're growing. But you need to be just double check that the niche you find within digital is growing as well. Cool. So next one, easy to find. Your target customers need to be reachable through specific channels, platforms, or group. A successful niche involves a customer base you can easily locate and target consistently without needing to chase them down across random places. So we need to be able to find who we're trying to work for. Artisan food people, these brands, where are they? LinkedIn. They're on Instagram and stuff like that, but on LinkedIn you could literally find them. You could just search artisan food, or, you know, if you have Sales Navigator, and we'll do this in the LinkedIn OS that we release at some point in the future, we'll show you how you can find companies on LinkedIn based on the industry and company size. So you can look for food companies within your area who are between 10 and 50 employees. So that way you know that it's quite easy to find the decision maker. For example, like finding like McDonald's would be almost impossible because they've got like, I don't know, 16,000 employees. Like it just wouldn't be sustainable. Cool. Next and last, purchasing power. Focusing on a niche where customers are willing and able to pay for solutions. They should not only feel the pain, but also have the resources and motivation to invest in a high quality answer to their problem. So we want to make sure the industry we're getting into, they have the money to pay for an artisan food photographer to come in and fix their shit and make their stuff look amazing. Which, if they're a company who are making food, I guarantee you they have money, because that shit's not cheap. Especially once you get to a higher level, like Alpro, McDonald's and stuff. McDonald's is one of the biggest companies in the world. You know there's purchasing power in this industry. Yeah, cool. So, market. I think there's a sheet we have to go through, guys, here. Market research. Where does your target audience go to learn and find inspiration? E.g., websites, social media, books, industry events. So example is, food brands often look to platforms like Instagram and Pinterest for inspiration, following top food photographers and stylists for trending looks. Cool. What qualities are they looking for in a creative professional? Premium food brands seek creative professionals with a unique mouth-watering style that highlights the quality of their products. So when you go through this, what you can do is you can literally copy the question, right? And let's say like my niche, let's just do a new chat, okay? Let's do my niche is graphic design who helps restaurants with their menus. What qualities are they looking for in a creative professional, right? Let's put that question in there. So we've got our niche at the top, and then we've got what qualities are they looking for in a creative professional. Memory updated. See that, Sandy? And it's just going to give you the answers, guys. It's going to give you the answers. And if you have the paid account, the answers, trust me, are going to be way, way better. This thing has access to the entire website. The entire internet. And double down, don't just take ChatGPT's word for it. Do market research. Find out how you can, maybe you take a course. Like this is something that I did to get better at business coaching. I've paid thousands, if not tens of thousands, on business coaching and how to help people like you, because I give a shit about it and I want to get better at it, right? Microeducation's booming because everyone wants to get better at niche things. I want to get better at coaching people like you, so I've invested in that, along with my experience of running an agency for 8 years. So, use ChatGPT. It's really good for inspiration. I'm not saying I know a lot of people are a bit iffy with AI when it comes to messaging and stuff. I'm not saying you should use AI to talk to people. I'm saying you should use AI to help you understand your goals, your mission, your values, your niche, and your market. Because he's an expert. ChatGPT's an expert. So go through these questions and, work out how they measure success, who else is serving this market, what are they offering, what's their biggest challenges or fears, what makes them frustrated or dissatisfied with existing options, what daily frustrations or pain points of the experience. And what's their biggest desire when it comes to creative services? The biggest desire is to collaborate with photographers who understand how to showcase their unique qualities of their product, delivering imagery that is visually captivating and aligned with their brand's high standards. They want photos that stand out in the market, enhance the product's appeal, and resonate with their target audience, ultimately positioning the brand as a leader in quality and taste. Now, if you're a food product photographer and you can say, look, I want to help your brand position themselves as a leader in quality and taste. And I want to highlight your unique qualities of the product. I want to deliver imagery that is visually captivating and aligned with the brand's high standards. Like, we aren't just photographers anymore. We aren't just food photographers anymore. We are food photographers that solve these specific problems. And these are the biggest desires of your ideal clients. When you start talking in terms of desires, man, people's ears pick up. People's ears will prick up. The better we get at understanding our dream avatars' desires and pain points, this is when we can start really ramping stuff up. Okay. So that's market, guys. Go through the exercise. And by all means, pause the videos you go through and figure out these answers as we build, so that by the time we get to the end of the video, you will have your niche and everything worked out. So that's market research into customer. So this is a really, really, really handy worksheet for you guys. And also you'll notice that these are in viewing mode, so you can't edit them. All you've got to do is just go and make a copy into your own Google Drive, and then these are free to amend however you like. So let's go through a customer avatar. So this is basically who our ideal client would be as a product food photographer. So here we have Emma. She lives in a suburban area with easy access to local farms and markets. She's 35 years old, college graduate with a degree in culinary arts and additional training in business management. She runs her own artisan food brand specializing in organic jams, sauces, and spreads, primarily sold through boutique stores and online. Get to know Emma. Emma is a passionate food entrepreneur who started her artisan brand to bring locally sourced organic products to health-conscious consumers. Cool. Feel free to read all that. We've got around her past, her family and relationships, and why your service matters to Emma. Okay, so for Emma, product photography isn't just about images. It's about telling her brand story. She needs a food photographer who can highlight the rich colors, textures, and freshness of her ingredients while capturing the artisanal quality that defines her brand. She's looking for someone who experienced in food styling and an eye for detail, who can make her products stand out in an authentic, appetizing way. What we need to do, just copy this, come into ChatGPT, paste it. Please change this to my desired niche, which is a wedding videographer. And look what this puppy does. I'm updating my memory a lot. It's probably getting confused about. Ben, I thought you were a creative coach. So Emma is a 35-year-old living in a suburban area with close connections to local farms and market. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Please change the niche so that the avatar would be a dream client for me as a wedding videographer. Think of her as a bride who wants to have the best and most memorable wedding video. Because we're not after people who want to be cheap and just hire any run-of-the-mill videographer, right? We want someone who's going to pay a lot of money for a wedding video. So for Emma, a wedding video isn't just about documenting the day, it's about preserving her story, emotions, and memories in a way that feels personal and lasting. She's searching for a videographer who has an eye for capturing candid, genuine moments rather than stage poses, and she wants a film that reflects her natural, minimalistic aesthetic. Emma reviews portfolios carefully, seeking someone with experience in weddings who can document everything from quiet moments to the day's joyful energies. So we can use this tool, guys, to help us build out what our market, our customer avatar is in our niche. And yeah, we'll go from there. So that's this is something you should build out. I would actually build out 2 or 3 of these. So male or female and a random one of your choice, and really get to know them. A really good piece of advice I got from a mentor of mine was if you know someone who fits the bill. So for example, if you have done work in food artisan and you've worked with a client who was in it, when you're when you're designing this, have them in mind. Think about them, what they look like, who they are, what they wear, what they do for fun on the weekend, who they're married to. Like, just imagine this person concretely, because when we can imagine who that person is, it becomes really easy to make content. And it becomes really easy with messaging, because when we make content, we can imagine we're making it for that person. We're not making content to go out for 8 billion people to find. We're making content for specific people. We're making content for Emma, who's a college graduate with a degree in culinary arts. That's who we're making content for. We don't need thousands of views. We don't need 25 likes. We just need to find people who need our services. I'm going to tell you a story that Alex Hormozy said, and it blew my mind, and it probably blew a lot of people's minds, about niching and growth and size of audiences, mainly. He has a friend who's a woman who helps people bill vet insurance correctly. So she helps vets properly put through the forms for pet insurance. And she's got like, I think he said like 2,000 Instagram followers. And she posted a reel a day, and it gets, 12 likes, 13 likes. And what happens is she's making over £1 million a year, because she's very, very, very niche. And the people she does find, and the 12 people who like her reels, are clients, are people who need these services. She's not making content for everyone. She's making content specifically for vets who need help billing the pet insurance correctly, right? And she's found the submarket. She's making a lot of money. So what I'm trying to say is, like, don't, like, when you start posting content, and we're all guilty of this. Don't worry. When you start posting content, don't worry that the fact that it's not getting traction, it's not getting loads of likes. You just need to find the right people. If your content starts finding 5 to 10 artisan food companies per month, then it's fucking working. And let's say half of them like it, you get 5 likes per post. That's working, baby. Like, let's keep going with that. Okay, that was like a little digression. So, brand uniqueness worksheet for creatives. What is your niche? We're going to go for the reason I put what is your niche at every start is because I want to hammer home in your head what your niche is and who you're trying to help. And at the end of this is what makes you different from other competitors helping clients make a similar transformation. Again, guys, use ChatGPT to help you work this out. So for a product food photographer, what sets me apart is my hands-on approach and deep understanding of the artisanal food industry. I don't take photos. I collaborate with my clients to ensure the visual aligns with their brand story and values. My approach is rooted in capturing authenticity, focusing on natural light, detailed styling, and emphasizing the product's textures and colors to create an emotional connection. I offer ongoing content support, giving brands a cohesive visual identity across all platforms and a consistent look that evolves with their needs. Wow. Niching down. How are we different? Okay. Next worksheet we have is offer creation worksheet for creatives. Now, the purpose of this, let's put me back over here. This is offer. So let's go into offer again. Back over here. Put me up here. Play. Hello again. We're back in the doc. So, brand. Before we get into offer, I'm going to talk a bit about brand. So, this is the biggest thing we can focus on in today's market. Once this is built, an audience will feed you forever. It is the strongest investment you will ever make. It is the strongest investment you will ever make. It is the strongest investment you will ever make. Why did I repeat that 3 times? Because it is. If we can build our personal brand as, the number 1 food photographer in Texas, all photography around food in Texas is going to come to you. Majority of it is going to come to you. We're making our own submarket. And by building that personal brand of people who know you and what they know you for, everyone who meets you and they're oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm the number 1 food photographer in Texas. Everyone you meet, you tell that to. Whenever those connections you make, whenever those people have conversations, they're like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a food photographer. Do you know anyone? Actually, yeah. A few weeks ago, I met a guy who said he's the best food photographer in Texas. Oh shit, what's his name? Oh, it's Ben. Here you go. Here's the details, right? That's personal branding. It's not just online, it's in person as well. But you need to build it online. That's the key. Become the go-to person for X. People won't always be ready to buy, but when they are, you want to be the first person that pings into their head. Even more ideal, you are the only person who does. So what does this mean? It means that you're not always going to meet leads or clients when they're ready to buy. In fact, that's not the case for most of the time. Most of the time, they're not going to be ready to buy. But what we want is we want them to constantly be nurtured. So when we get them to followers, we do cold outreach and they start following you. You meet them, they start following you. Or you're running ads or whatever it is, whatever your outreach is for lead gen or your personal brand. We want to be the person that pings in their head when they are ready to buy. So we have a customer avatar like we just spoke about, who is someone who is looking for a food photographer for their artisan food business. But they're not ready to buy yet. They've seen you, they've met you, they've seen maybe your ads, they've seen your content, they started following you and they think, oh cool, this guy posts nice stuff. This is really good stuff, right? But they're still working out their product. They're not quite ready to do photography. 3 months go by and they're still watching your stuff because they follow you on Instagram. 3 months go by and they're like, oh yeah, okay, I think I'm ready to do photography now. Who should I get? Oh, there's that Ben guy that I've been following. He's really good. Maybe I should reach out to him, right? When they're ready to buy, you want to be the person that pings in their head. But like I said, even more ideal, you're the only person who does. Because then there's no competition. They just come to you, right? And that happened loads at Otto. We just had constant content going out. And then when someone was ready to buy, they would text us or email like, oh, guys, I've been following you for a while. We'd love you come and do a video for X, Y, and Z. Cool. Did you consider anyone else? Didn't know anyone else. Right? They don't need to know 2, 3, 4 videographers. They just need to know one that's really fucking good and solves their problem. Like, I don't need to know 4 plumbers. I just need to know one plumber who sorts the shit out. Figuratively. Develop a signature style. So consistent branding, consistent tone of voice. You are the same person on every platform, on every call, at every event. People come to rely on who they see you as. They recognize you no matter where they find you. So we want to make sure we always have the same image, the same headshot across all of our brands, across all of our social platforms. And our messaging, our offering is always consistent. So people get to know us as, I am the best food photographer in Texas. That's who people know us as. That's what they relate to us. Consistency, and it's our style. So, offer. Let's get into offer, guys. This is the value equation made by Alex Hormozy himself. And it works like this. We have dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice equals value. Ben, what on earth did you just say and what the fuck does that mean? I'm not very good at maths. I'll break it down for you. So in order to get high value, we need to have our customer's dream outcome, which would be amazing food photography that drives sales and makes our brand look sick. And what is the perceived likelihood of achievement if I choose Ben to do that? Well, Ben's niche down. This is what he does for his day job. This is his bread and butter, pun intended. And all of his testimonials and referrals are based from other food brands who he's done an excellent job for. So perceived likelihood of achievement is very high. And Ben's promising me my dream outcome. Now, this gets divided by how long does it take Ben to do it? As quick as possible. When you're young, not young, but when you're small, and young, when you're a small company, your time delay, you can bring this right down. You can get shit delivered same day. And I implore you to, because this is how you compete with the big boys. When me and Dan started out, we would turn around shit same day or day after. Like, speed was the reason we were so quick to grow, is because we came into the market and there's all these dinosaur videographers who would take 2 weeks to come back to them because they would edit on a movie maker and shit like this, and maybe even using film. We came in, digitized everything, and we were turning shit around so fucking quick. So our time delay was super low, and the last thing you need to do is reduce the amount of effort and sacrifice that they have to use. So what's going to be perceived as high value as a food photographer? We are going to give them the dream outcome of really good food photography that is going to fit their niche and increase their brand and drive sales. The likelihood of achievement is high as possible. The better we get at this, the higher we can make this. Time delay, we are going to deliver it before they need it. So Ben, we need this in 2 weeks. Cool, I'll get it to you in 6 days. Effort and sacrifice. How much work have I got to put in, Ben, to get this? Nothing. I'll sort everything out. Logistics, bookings, everything. That's going to increase value. All of a sudden, your value is so fucking high, the cost becomes not irrelevant, but less relevant because the value is so high. Like, if you're competing on price with someone, and you can compete on price down to the bottom till you both hit zero. But what you can do is say, like, yeah, this guy's coming cheaper. This guy has come in cheaper, right? However, this is what you want. This is your dream outcome. This is how likely you are to get it if you go with me, because look at my testimonials and my case studies. I can do this faster for you than this other guy. And you're worried about, the time it's going to take you to organize the restaurant and the food. Let me handle that. I'll do that for you. Right? And this is the cost. This is why it costs more, because I'm going to give you more. I'm going to give you more value. We never compete. Just said sorry to the mic. We never compete on price. We always just gonna, if someone comes in cheaper, we're just gonna give them more value. Okay? So offer. We make a specific, clear promise. Be absolutely crystal clear on what you do, who for, and what it does. So for example, we create social first videos for luxury real estate brands that 10 times engagement. Next is we increase perceived value. Add things to the offer that make it even more powerful. The aim is to make the client so in love with the result that the price becomes secondary. Make them an offer so good they feel stupid saying no. So I'm going to add that bit of text to the first bit. So we create social first videos for luxury real estate brands that 10 times engagement and generate measurable sales within 14 days. So we've made a specific, clear promise, and we've then increased the perceived value on it again. Next, we reduce the risk. Adding a guarantee to an offer is what makes it go from great to excellent, almost irresistible, but not quite. We're almost at irresistible levels. So we create social first videos for luxury real estate brands that 10 times engagement and generate measurable sales within 14 days, guaranteed, or will work with you until it does. So we've got very clear promise, increased perceived value, and we've reduced the risk. Why not do it? You'd be an idiot not to do it at this point. And then lastly, this is how it becomes irresistible. This is when people are like, fucking hell, yeah, take my car, take my money. We create scarcity and urgency. Make the spots limited, or that the offer only lasts X long. For service-based businesses, I've always found exclusivity to work the best. So we create social first videos for luxury real estate brands at 10 times engagement and generate measurable sales in 14 days, guaranteed, or will work with you until it does. However, we only bring on 2 clients per month, and one of the spots is already filled. So if you want this, we have to start now. You need to tell me if you want to go for it. What we can also do is if you go now, I can give you a 10% discount. How's that sound? So super clear promise what I'm going to deliver for you. Increased value, reducing the risk, guaranteed it will work with you until it does. Limited number of spots. You in or you're out. This is going to drive sales, guys. This is how you go from, oh, I'm a photographer. I'm a videographer who does, I can do real estate for you. Nah, man. I'm a videographer who can create social first videos for luxury real estate brands that 10 times your engagement. Not only that, but it's going to generate sales within 14 days, guaranteed. If not, I'm going to work with you until it does. So I'm going to work with you until we get measurable sales increase within 14 days and 10 times engagement. But the caveat is we've got to start today, because I haven't got very many spots left. All of a sudden, the value of what you're offering, the value of what you can do for someone, fucking skyrockets. And it's so easy to compete with other photographers and videographers or whatever your niche is when you get very good and very clear on this. Sorry, Mike, I hit you again. So I think I've got an offer creation worksheet. So what is your niche? Premium product photography, arts and food brands, specialty food producers. Sorry, I've been talking for 50 minutes now. My mouth's getting sore. Someone's going to clip that. So go through these, work out what is it costing them to not change and stay there where they are. This is killer, guys, here. Okay, so let's go through this one actually. So what is your audience's current situation? What is their desired outcome? We've worked this out already using ChatGPT. What is it costing them to not change and stay where they are? Brand image, low quality or inconsistent visuals can make their brand appear less credible. Sales, poor visuals lead to lower conversion rates. Customer trust, unprofessional imagery can weaken trust. And competitive edge, without standout visuals, they risk being overshadowed by brands with stronger, more appealing imagery. Let me give you another example here that's going to hit home. You're a creative person who struggles with leads and growing their company and unlocking the financial freedom they want. Let's say that I make you an offer to come and work with me for a year so I can help you with all those problems and grow your company. And I give you a price, and maybe you're not quite happy with the price. Maybe it's a bit more expensive than you will think, right? If I say to you, okay, Jerry, what is it costing you to not change and stay where you are? Like, you pay for this service, I come on board with you for a year and help you get to where you want to be. or you stay where you are. Like, you decide. Like, if you want to stay where you are, if you're not ready to improve, fine. Like, that's on you, man. But we can solve these problems, and we can increase your brand appeal. We can get you more leads. We can increase your sales. We can get better clients. We can help you grow your team. We can do all these things that you want to do, but you need to commit. The other reason why you need to commit is if you have skin in the game, you're going to do the work. And I know this firsthand. When I've done courses that are free, or I've done courses where if I came to a coach, for example, and he was doing it for free, I'd be like, whatever. If I put money on the table, skin in the game, I'm going to fucking do it. Because there's skin in the game. Right, so what are the most people in your niche trying to do to reach the desired outcome themselves? Is it working for them? What other professionals offering your niche to help them reach the desired outcome? Are their services working for clients? What are clients in your niche who are succeeding doing? How do they reach their desired outcome, and is it working? Right, so go through these questions and answer them. So what's going to be included in your offer? What will make your offer different? So we could offer things like a pre-session consultation, creative direction and styling, on-site or studio shoot options. So you could say, we'll either come to your restaurant, your warehouse, whatever, or come to my studio or hire a studio. We're going to hire a professional chef. We'll bring one of your chefs to cook all the food. We're going to hire a creative director. We're going to hire a stylist, a special food stylist. And we're going to give you exclusive rights, high resolution imagery, loads of other shit. We're going to package all of this in. It's not like, yes, I will come and shoot your food for you and give you the imagery. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to offer. Value, 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 value. Right. So to get more leads, we're going to need something called a lead magnet. Ben, what the fuck is a lead magnet? Am I going to send people an ebook? No, guys, we're not going to send people an ebook. So a good one for style shoot experience or like product photography to get more leads is what we could do is we could find leads via cold outreach, via paid ads, via organic content, via visiting them physically, via calling them, whatever we're going to do to put the work in to find them. And we could say, hey, Jackie, hey, Emma, I'm offering potential clients exclusive access to a styled food shoot. You can observe the process, the creative direction to final shots, and I'll showcase the level of detail and care involved. Afterward, we'll send you a highlight reel of key moments and the finished images. Why does this work? This immersive experience allows potential clients to witness your expertise, attention to detail, and professional approach. It creates a memorable, engaging experience that demonstrates your high standards and draws them in to book a full session. And they might get fed as well, right? And people love food. What you're basically doing here is you can invite 10 clients to a gig where you showcase your work, showcase your expertise. And after you do that, it's so fucking easy to convert them. And you can also offer them a discount if they come. So I'll come have a look. And if you like it, I'll give you a discount from the actual gig. This is like free consultation. This works exceptionally well in service-based companies. So let's go through pricing, guys. What could we price for our services based on value? So we could say, starting at $5,000 for a full shoot, including styling, editing, and exclusive usage rights. Right? This might be a really high number for you if you're watching. Don't worry, we can get you there. If this isn't a high number for you, if this is a low number, then you should level up and come into the paid course. Seasonal package. What we can do is we can offer them a package of $17,500 for 4 seasonal sessions, providing fresh visuals for each quarter. So what we'll do is we're basically locking them into retain, and we're saying, hey guys, every season you change your food menu, we'll come and do the photography. And if you lock in for a year, we'll give you $2,500 off. So $5,000 times 4 is $20,000. We're going to give you 12.5% discount if you lock in for a retainer. Sweet, right? 17,500. Let's say you can do 10 of these a quarter. That's less than 1 a week. Piece of piss. We're going to have, let me move this over here, 17,500 times 10. We're going to be turning over $175,000 in revenue per year working with 10 clients. 10 clients. You don't need loads of clients. You just need 10 good ones. Okay? Starting to get it? Sweet, man. What guarantee will you offer? Satisfaction guarantee. If the final images do not meet your agreed upon standards, clients can request a complimentary reshoot or additional editing to ensure they're fully satisfied. This guarantee offers clients peace of mind and confidence in their investment. If this makes you nervous, it should, because you're coming from a place where you work with cheap clients. When you start working with clients like this who understand the value you're bringing to the table, this rarely gets executed, if ever. I never had it executed because we work with higher paid clients. Like, the clients that are going to execute this are the shit ones that we're going to move away from using. The only time they are going to use this is if you didn't deliver. And if you didn't deliver, then you should fucking offer this anyway. So what do you have to lose? Even if you didn't have this and they weren't happy with what you wanted to do, We don't want to lose the client, and we don't want to have a bad reputation. We don't want to get a bad review. So we're going to fix it. You always fix it. Customer experience. So if you're going to do that anyway, you may as well offer it as a guarantee. You've got nothing to lose, guys. This is all upside. What scarcity and urgency tactics will you use? We went to that earlier. I've got limited spots. I only bring on 2 clients per month, for example. How will you collect customer testimonials from reviewing social proof? We went into this in the other article, but that's all there. So how will you present your no-brainer offer with a value stack? Value stacks, guys, are a way that we basically go from saying, I'm a food photographer and I'll come and shoot your stuff for $2,000. What we say is, yeah, I'm a food photographer. I specialize in this X, Y, and Z. And this is what you get when you book me. You get a pre-session consultation, which is $500. You get a creative direction and stylist for $700. Full day photo shoot with professional equipment and team, $3,500. Editing and retouching up to 20 images, $1,000. Exclusive usage rights, $500. Total value on that is £6,200. But if you book now, we've got a discount on. Maybe you came for the lead magnet, maybe you didn't. Whatever reason you want to put on. I like you, Gary. I'm going to give you a discount. Oh, you're a new client. We haven't worked with you before. We've got a new customer, new client discount on at the moment. We'll do it for $5,000, $1,200 cheaper. How does that sound? But we have to book in this week, right? Urgency, scarcity. We've got one spot open for new clients to come in, and equally, if you come in now, I'm going to give you $1,200 off. This number can be what you normally charge. And this number can be a number that you've never charged before, right? It's like on Black Friday when they say, oh, this TV is discounted. It's like, it's not. The discounted price is just the normal price. You can do that. You can't do it publicly, but you can do it privately because people will cotton onto it. So be careful how you do it. You can also offer bonuses to include your no-brainer offer. So that they're still and after all that, it's like, okay, look, what I'll do is I'll offer a brand consultation call as well for half an hour, and we'll go through your branding and how we can make it more consistent across the board. I'll also throw in a social media pack of 10 optimized images for social media use. I'll also give you some seasonal styling tips guides for stuff that I've worked on with other clients. That's another $600 in value. I'm just gonna throw that in. And if they signed here, that, yeah, $5,000, that's great, and you didn't even get to this, just throw that in anyway. Just make this part of the normal package, but use it as an upsell that you would do anyway. Because if they sign off of $5,000 and they're booked, you're ready to go, what you can do is when they get all this, you give them this as well, and they're gonna be fucking blown away. They're like, oh my god, Ben was a bit more expensive than what we typically would pay, but the value we got back was insane. And I have definitely noticed a lot of compliments from customers on our photography on our menu. Like, this is really good, right? This is why offering is so important, so key. I love building out offerings for people because this is when you can really, the cogs start turning them and how you can help people. It's wonderful. Okay, cool. Back to the presentation. Let's come over here. Messaging. I just came on that to say messaging. This is the messaging worksheet. Go through this. Use ChatGPT. I'm cautious that I've gone up to an hour now, and I don't want to. I appreciate that's a long time. Go through these, answer it, and what you can do is you can define your message in a simple sentence using the message formula. So I help niche to achieve results through your offer. So for an artisan food photographer, I help artisan food brands showcase the quality and mouth-watering appeal of their products through professional photography that builds brand loyalty and drives sales. This is our messaging, right? So instead of saying I'm a food photographer, we'd have something like this, probably a bit shorter so it fits within bios on Instagram and social media a bit more, but we can definitely have this in pitch decks and stuff like that. So when someone meets you, you want to be able to say this off the cuff. Oh yeah, man, my name's Ben. I help artisan food brands showcase quality and mouth-watering appeal for their products, and that builds brand loyalty and drives sales. Sweet, that's very specific. I'm a very specific guy, and I help a very specific problem, and I'm very fucking good at it. Cool, man. That's good to know. Good to know you're not just a broad photographer who does everything, right? Right. Guys, so that was market positioning and a bit more detail about the worksheets. Use all the worksheets down below. Go through them all. Get super clear. If you find the niche that you can do, but it doesn't have it doesn't fit one of the 4 market points, find a different niche. If you find the niche that you like, but you haven't got skills in it, get the skills and we'll go into the next page. If you find the niche that you want and everything works, keep going through the worksheet, get your messaging clear and start getting fucking excited. Because when we get this clear, lead generation becomes easier, content becomes easier, paid ads become easier, conversions becomes easier, works becomes easier, your life becomes easier, and you just get better at everything by doing this. I really fucking hope you found that valuable. The results from the work, you fucking got this. Guys, let's fucking get it. Let's get really fucking good at this, okay? I know I'm swearing loads. I'm trying to hype you up. Let's get after it. Love you. Guys, welcome back to the next video. And in this one, we are really diving into the lead generation now. The stuff we've all been waiting for. I've waffled on loads about niching, finding your target demographic, your market, your avatar, messaging. But now we're going to be like, okay, Ben, how do I make money out of this? How am I going to get leads? Well, let me tell you. Here's what we're going to cover, guys. This is the core 4. Core 4 ways of getting leads. So we have 2 pillars, basically, of people who know you and people who don't know you. And how do we get leads from both of them? So people who know you, we do one-to-one private, which is called warm outreach. That's like texting your mum, your uncle, your dad. Hey, Dad, do you want to invest in my company? Hey, Dad, do you need design work for your company that you're doing? Blah, 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 blah. People who know you and one-to-one private is warm outreach. And then we have one-to-many or one-to-infinite, technically. Well, 1 to 8 billion, technically. So you have people who know you, and then one-to-many in public is post-free content, organic content. This is where you'll post Instagram Reels, content on LinkedIn, YouTube content, TikToks, whatever. That's how you find people. Sorry, that's not how you. Sorry, that's how people learn to know you through organic content. And then we have people who don't know you one-to-one, which is cold outreach. This is where you'll DM people in the DMs on Instagram and LinkedIn and all these other social media platforms. You'll call people, email people, walk into their shops. That's cold outreach, one-to-one. And then people who don't know you, one-to-many. How do you speak to many people at once who don't know you? You run paid ads. So we're going to dive into these 4, what they mean, how they work, and yeah, give you guys a bit more clarity on what you should do. The key here is we want to try using warm outreach, cold outreach, and post-free content almost immediately. And once we're a bit more comfortable about what's working, we can start running paid ads. The reason I say that is because none of those things realistically are going to cost money, but apart from paid ads, like in terms of a lot of money, or more money than nothing. But paid ads is the fastest way to scale. Warning, guys. This is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video. Don't skip and don't fast forward. Pro tip, watch me at 1.5 speed. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So, warm outreach. Let's get going. We want to leverage existing relationships. We want to reach out to past clients or contacts who know your work and could need your services again. So I'll give you an example of how this works. When I left Otter and I decided I wanted to do some coaching, I reached out to some people who were designers, videographers, photographers, website builders, coaches, who I knew I can see from the outside in, they were having problems with lead gen and growing their company. So I contacted a few of them and said, hey, I've got this product right now where I'm going to help you go from, £1,000 a month to 5K a month, 5K a month to 10K a month, whatever it was, wherever I could see their issue was. And, just had to solve the lead gen issue they were having. And they were like, yeah, okay, fucking right. Because I knew the pain points because I was in the industry. This is something that you can do. There is definitely people that that could use your services. And this is really, service to people who are just getting started as a creative. But if you're not just getting started, reach out to the existing relationships that you already have. Because there's leads there, unless you're doing constant follow-up, constant retention, there's leads to be had here that you should really be working on and nurturing. Personalized messaging with warm outreach. So we want to keep messages highly relevant to their needs and their specific pain points or results. Water that sapling. So just to reiterate the point before, every lead, whether it's engaged or not, you want to imagine that you've planted a tree sapling in a forest. And you are just watering that sapling every week, every few days. And the goal is to grow these saplings, these clients, into fucking oak trees. because the longer you nurture them for, the longer you water them for, the bigger clients they become and the more money you make from them. Some of our biggest clients we had weren't ones that we just landed one day. They were ones that we nurtured over years and years and years. And they went from paying £250 a video to £8,000 a month retainers, right? We want to build friendships, not just connections. I can't stress that enough. And that's hard, I know, as a creative, as an introvert, that you don't necessarily want to build friendships, but try. Because there is so much value in that by being a friend with someone. I'm not saying you have to be their best mate and go to the cinema with them. I'm just saying that you want to move past the whole it's only a B2B relationship. Kind of a good example I can give to you here, which might not resonate and also probably will resonate with some of you, is it's a bit like when you're chatting to someone on Tinder or Bumble or whatever app, and you want to move them off the app and get their phone number and move them onto WhatsApp or text message. Like it's a lot easier to convert the lead or, to get them onto a date if you have their number. It becomes a bit more intimate, a bit more private. You're not just some guy on an app anymore. You're like, you're Ben, you're Darren, you're Jess, whatever it is. And that's how you want to move with your leads. You want to be more than just a guy who's in their fucking inbox. Follow-up strategy. We want to stay top of mind with periodic follow-ups that share updates, insights, or successes. Make this a ritual. This needs to be daily, guys, with warm outreach and cold outreach. Make this daily. It has to be a ritual and you have to get used to it. I will preface this, though, and say, I want you to try all of these. I want you to try all of these lead generation strategies, because there are going to be ones that work for you better, and there are going to be ones that don't work for you very well. But the ones that we do find that work for you, we lean into and we start killing it. If you can make all of them work, guess what happens? You make a lot of fucking money. Call to action. Offer a clear, low friction next step. So let's say you're courting someone in the LinkedIn DMs. You warm them up. You say, "Oh, I can do this. We can do this. How are you? What's going on? What kind of issues are you having? Are you having this pain problem? Another guy I spoke to in your industry is having this pain problem. Is that the same for you? It would be really good to catch up. Maybe we should grab a coffee, or let's jump on a call and I'll see if I can offer some advice, offer some things that are going to remove the friction and keeps the ball going and keep momentum going." This is something that I see from people where they've said, "Oh, Ben, I'm doing warm outreach, I'm doing cold outreach, but I'm not getting anywhere with it. It's this." They haven't got a call to action at the end of it. They're really good at sliding into the DMs, courting them and saying, "Oh, I want to offer this, I can help with this." Great, okay, cool. And then they don't book a call in. Book the fucking call in. Go for a coffee. Go to their office. Go meet them. Go to the next stage, right? Cold outreach. Let's jump into that. Researched targeted prospects. So we want to find potential clients within your niche who would benefit from your specific expertise. LinkedIn is killer for this, because LinkedIn is the daddy of specific targeting. With LinkedIn, if you use the Sales Navigator, you can literally find whatever job role in whatever industry and whatever company size. You can literally just find people who live in Michigan who are marketing managers in tech, and their company size is 10 to 50 people. So that you can probably get through to a decision maker quite easily. Whereas people are like 10,000 people in the company, you're just not going to fucking speak to the right person ever. And 1 to 10 might not have the budget for what you're offering. Maybe they will. I'm just trying to give you an example. LinkedIn's killer for this. So can Instagram, if you know what you're looking for. For example, with me, if I wanted to do cold outreach and I wanted to find designers, I could quite easily find designers on Instagram. But for most of you, B2B, LinkedIn is going to be the best way. And in the paid course that we're going to bring out eventually, we'll have a full deep dive into LinkedIn, how it works, how you can build your LinkedIn profile, how you can stand out from the crowd, tried and tested models, as well as the whole DMing strategy. So we want to build value in your messaging. Instead of a hard pitch, focus on providing a quick win or insight/pain relevant to their business. I always found a combination of both would work. So we want to provide the thing that people really respond to is quick wins, something that you can give them that's going to give them a quick win. So like when you're talking to them and you're asking what sort of pain points are they having, right, that are specific to you, give them a quick win. Say, "Oh, you should try this. This worked for so-and-so. Oh, this is something that I did for another client and it's probably going to work for you. Have you, try this. Or, oh, yeah, I've seen that before. Here's a video explaining how you can fix it. Like provide value, quick win, solve an issue, and they're going to build trust. And at the same time, you're going to, realize that you're going to show them that you have insight into their pain. And that's key. You're going to build empathy. Multi-touch approach. Follow up across different mediums, email, LinkedIn, etc., to increase visibility and familiarity. Now, this might seem a bit stalkery. If you do it right, it's not. If you do it right, it's not. I don't want you to fucking DM them on every single platform, every single day. That's weird. But, don't be afraid to have conversations with the same client across different platforms, because you're going to build up this familiarity with them and they're going to see your branding across different places. It's going to make you look more professional. It's going to make you look a bit bigger than you are. And also, you don't just become, oh, that's Ben Lawton from LinkedIn. You come, oh, that's Ben Lawton, the designer. Because he's seen you on different platforms, different metrics. Right? Oh. And last one we have is follow the fuck up. I like swearing. Follow up, follow up, follow up. This is a numbers game. Sales are made after 4 to 5 follow-ups on average, or touch points. Make them familiar with you. Don't just spam them. Just follow up professionally and politely. You never know the moment you'll catch them at. And what I mean by that is they might not need your services in the first DM. But, 4 weeks in after you've sent them, oh, hey, how's things going with X, Y, and Z? He's like, oh, actually, Ben, we can't solve it. We've had a brief come through from the higher ups that we need a design pack that's going to solve that for us. We have a brief come through. We need a video testimonial of this new client. Can you help? I'm really glad that you text me. You would laugh at the amount of times I have done cold follow-up and they've replied like, oh, Ben, you're just the person I wanted to speak to. X, Y, and Z's just happened. Like that happens surprisingly amount if you keep following up, and it's a numbers game, right? You just got to keep doing it. So, organic content. It's consistency. You need to be consistent with this stuff. But this is such a sick one. So, regularly share insights, tips, and case studies that showcase your niche knowledge and abilities. Content compounds. I cannot stress that enough. You won't get a lead off your first post, but you can get 100 leads from one post. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you start content posting today on your relevant platform, whichever platform you found that your target demographics on, and you start posting, right? First month, probably not a lot is going to happen, but 90 days in, you're going to start getting results. You're going to start getting people who start interacting, like, oh, this is quite helpful, thanks, man. And you can just kind of nurture them in the DMs. They go from a cold outreach to a warm outreach. Then they're engaging with your organic content. They're starting to like you. They're starting to trust you. They're starting to believe you. A client that's been following your content for a while, you'll be surprised how easy it is to sell to them, because they feel like they know you. Like the amount of client meetings Dan and I went into, and they just spoke to Dan and I like they knew us, and we'd never met them. It's because we ran a vlog. We posted vlog content every week, and we posted content about ourselves all the time. They're like, oh yeah, it was so good to see you guys do that challenge or do this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Obviously, I wouldn't say that to the client, but like, I don't know. Like, oh, it's so funny that, Carol, your mum did this, and you did that in the vlog. And it's like, I don't know this guy, but he knows my mum's name, right? I'm not saying you have to go to that extreme, but you kind of see what I'm trying to say. They liked me. They knew me. They knew me and Dan. Like, there wasn't this awkward stage of getting to know someone before you buy from them. They already trusted us. And that made conversion so much easier. Yeah. Content compounds, guys. Like, just fucking start. Just start and don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. Just keep posting. You're going to be shit at the start, most likely. And that's okay. That's okay. Everyone starts off shit. It's a bit like when you first start going to the gym, right? You just suck at it. You don't know what you're doing. You hurt all the time. Your form's not great. Progress is slow. And you're not in good shape. You're insecure. You do one workout, you're not really going to see a difference. You go for a month, you might notice some little things, little nibbles, but nothing great. You go for 90 days though, and you start changing your diet because you're feeling healthier. 180 days, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, you're a different fucking person. Different person entirely. If you do organic content and lead generation for a year, your business will be flying. But you have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. I hope that makes sense. It's like, it's not easy, but it's not complicated. It's like, it's going to take work. It's going to take time. but it's not this thing that you have to get your head around. You just have to put the hours in. So the other great thing about organic content is you want to engage directly with your audience. So encourage questions and comments to build relationships and drive interest in your services. It's social, so be social. I really recommend, people who engage with your content, DM them. People who comment on your content, reply to the comments, DM them. Reach out to other people in your space. Reach out to clients on Instagram and just be social. Like, oh, hey, just comment on their stuff and just be there. Don't just post content and expect everything to come to you, because don't get me wrong, once you get big enough organic content, it will. But to start, engaging is going to make this whole thing fly way, 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 way faster. Share value-rich content. Focus on solving common problems that your audience faces. Focus on solving common problems your audience faces to build authority and trust. Use the hook, retain, reward metric. So what does that mean? We want to make content that has a hook, whether it's a text hook, a visual hook, whatever. They're scrolling through, scrolling through on their keyboards or their mouse or their phone, whatever, and they see a bit of text or a visual hook that's going to hook them in. That's 80% of your time, by the way. Like, your hook, do not underestimate how important your fucking hook is when it comes to content. And we can do deep dives into this in the next course on how to do it on certain platforms. And then the next bit is retain. We want to retain them. So we want to say, okay, I've hooked them in. Now we retain them through visual storytelling or text storytelling, keep them hooked, keep them engaged. And then we have to reward them. So at the end of it, they want to feel like, oh, I'm glad I watched that piece of content. I'm glad I read that post. I'm glad I looked at that image. It rewarded me in some way, shape, or form. Did I learn something? Was I entertained? If you don't have that reward metric, your engagement plummets. We want to leverage call to actions in content. So use subtle CTAs in your content, like DM me for more info to drive inbound leads, give in public, sell in private. I've just realized I am down here, and we want to be a bit bigger than that, don't we, guys? Excuse me. Technical problems. I can't see it. So leverage call to actions and content. Use subtle CTAs in your content, like DM me for more info, give in public, sell in private. So this is a phrase coined by Hormozi, where we want to just give all this value, all this insight, all this knowledge up front in our content and let people see it and enjoy it and get value from it, but we don't sell. We don't sell on the content. It's like we don't say, if you're interested in this, give me a call. Like, we're not selling Windows in 2004. Like, we're not doing that. People who engage with the content, we DM them. We sell in private. We say, hey, we'll just jump on a course. Yeah, I can help you. You like the content? Cool, let's have a chat. Don't just fucking put at the end of your post, contact me so we can do this for you. Like, it doesn't work, and it's salesy, and it's a bit shit, I think. So paid content, guys. This is the one that is super scalable. I'm no expert in this. My brother is, Tim. But I'll walk you through the dimensions and how it works, why it's so fucking valuable. And Tim and I will do a extensive course on paid meta ads, how it works, and how you can get leads from it. When we were running the paid ad campaign that we had at Otter we basically ran a paid ad campaign that would attract B2B clients who had a budget of at least £3,000 within the Greater London area. And we were getting around 2 to 3 leads a week. And we were paying around £35 per book call. And on video projects, they were at least 3K. They were never that low. They were more like 5. But I put a price anchor in just to filter out the shit. I don't mind paying £750 a month in paid social ads if I'm going to be locking in 1 to 2 clients who are paying me 5K a month. And paid content is literally, you want to look at it this way, like you put £1 in and you get X back. $1 in, you get X back, right? And what we worked out from Otter is we could put in, we could pay £33, £35 per call, and from 10 calls we would get 2 clients. So we were paying £330 for 10 calls, and then we were paying and then 2 of them would convert. So we're paying like £160 for a customer. A customer who's going to pay like 3 to 5K. We put £1 in. We put 160 quid in, whatever it was, and we got roughly 5K back. You can just scale that up. We couldn't scale that up because you have other bottlenecks in the business, like service delivery, timings, and stuff like that. But if you can build out a big enough team and solve bottlenecks as you go, that's how you scale to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60K a month. Bigger agencies, right? There's agencies in London who just pump out ads, and they're probably looking at around 150, 200K a month in service deliverable. That wasn't a company that I wanted to build, but I know how to build it, but I didn't want to be the guy running it because it sounds very fucking intense. If that's your goal, we can help you get there, and I implore you for your work ethic. Okay, cool. So let's move into paid content then. I've moved my camera up to the right, guys, so it's not going to block it again. And that's awkward. So we want to identify key channels for paid ads. So choose platforms where your ideal clients spend their time, like Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn. This is imperative. You are not going to find marketing managers for, heritage brands on TikTok. Or if you are, it's going to be so fucking hard to dial that in. We want to find the platforms where they are. A lot of them are going to be on Meta or LinkedIn. 90% of them are going to be on Meta or LinkedIn. It's one of those two. YouTube also works as well. I don't have loads of experience in YouTube ads, but LinkedIn and Meta are phenomenal for most creatives. So we want to identify what channels those are, and we can do that through our custom avatar that you did in the niche alchemy. Next, we want to offer a lead magnet. So a valuable resource, ebook, checklist, consultation as an entry point. Ebook is super old school, but I put it in there just because I want, this might be a lead magnet that people are very familiar with, because this is what a lot of online businesses used to do. What I would probably offer as a creative service is consultation. An audit of your social channels if you're a social media marketer, a review of your video content if you're a videographer, come and see me do a photography shoot, come behind the scenes, like that one I mentioned about in the alchemy of the niche alchemy, where the food photographer will invite loads of clients to the restaurant to have a look at how he does it. That sort of consultation, come for free. Give them something of high value that they can't say no to, because once you can give them something they need or want from that's free. Converting them is a piece of piss. Next, we have use retargeting to nurture warm leads. So run retargeting ads to build trust and keep your brands visible to those who have shown interest. We'll go into this more in the Facebook ads, Meta ads course, but this is basically where someone might interact with your content. They might like your content, and we can then run retargeting ads to them to really drive home the point and get them to book a call. A lot of sales are made this way. And last, we have experiment with ad copy and visuals, test different messages, images, and offers to see what resonates best with your target audience. Paid content, guys, it's really strong, but you have to A/B test the shit out of it. You really have to A/B test the shit out of it. For example, Hermosi's book, $100 million leads. He didn't just make it like this. He put polls up for the name, the magnet, the color. Is it $100 million leads? Is it something else? Is it offers? Is it sales? How to get strangers to want to buy your stuff. That went through 8 revisions on people what they thought it was. Everything that he thought he would win, he was wrong. And that is literally how I have found it on paid content. Content that I've put out that I think this is going to bang. This is sick. It doesn't. And stuff that I don't think is going to be that good. Bangs. And this isn't, I wouldn't even say this is me being not an expert in paid ads, because my brother Tim, I had the same conversations with him. He's like, look, man, I can advise you on what I think works, and we can build out a formula for what works, but we have to test. We have to test. You can't have your finger on the pulse that well all the time. It's just impossible. So yeah, those are the 4 ways you can get lead gen, guys. The results from the work, you fucking got this. Start doing cold outreach right now. Start doing cold and warm outreach right now. Start posting organic content. Put the work into those 3 things. And then when you are at a point where you're making good money, or you're at a point where, okay, cool, I can go full time in this, or okay, cool, I'm at $5K a month. That's when we start turning on the paid ads, and that's when we can start scaling up, bringing people in to help you, and going from there. But in the meantime, if you want leads now, then I suggest you figure out who is a warm outreach for you. Who do you know that could benefit from your services? You can think of 3 people. Look at your phone list. Look at your contacts on social media. Look at who you previously worked with. Look at people you might have spoken to in the past. Find 3 people and reach out. Cold outreach. Start DMing people on LinkedIn, your chosen platforms. Get your niche very specific. Get your avatar very specific. Get your offering very specific. If you have no fucking leads, do shit for free. Find these people and say, hey, I'm up and coming. I'm doing this. This is my offer. I'd love to do it for free for you in exchange for a testimonial. Go and do it. People who say never work for free, but they haven't got any fucking customers or they haven't got any leads are fucking idiots. Do you understand how stupid that is? Like, oh, I'm not going to work for free. It's like, okay, what are you going to do then? You don't have any work to do. Unless your sales calendar is fully booked, shut up. Do work for free. Otherwise, you're not working. And if you're not working, you're not making money. And organic content, you are going to suck at the start. But you have to just post every day. Once a day on one platform. Just go in on it. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is, post daily and bring the fucking value, bring the heat, and accept you're going to suck. But after 30, 60, 90 days, you're going to be in a good fucking place, man. You just have to keep going. It's a consistency game. The people in these industries that you see that are making decent money did not just fucking fall on their hands and get lucky. They have put in the work of consistency. Consistency on the same engines, the same systems. All of these systems, these engines, you can do yourself. You can, if you just believe in yourself and you try hard to do it, you will achieve these things. They are not complicated. They just take work. You fucking can do this, guys. Right. That's enough hype. Into the next one. Any questions? Comment in the community. Love you all. Guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to drop a lot of value on this one because this is one that I'm exceptionally good at. And this is one of the key metrics to growing sustainably, very quickly, and very reliably. But you can't rely on it, if that makes sense. Guys, welcome back to another video. This is a value-packed one. I'm really excited to get into this one because referrals and testimonials are something that I fucking love and I think are a pivotal way to grow a company. Not the only way, and you cannot rely on them, but my God, do they work. They work because everyone fucking just refers back to them as being their only way to get lead gen. How have you grown? Oh, referrals. Because no one knows how to do the other ones that we went through very well. But you can't just do referrals and expect to grow. But what they can do is they can make you a lot of money. Anyway, I digress. Let's just get into it. Let's just get into it, guys. So here's what we're going to cover. Why referrals matter. How to ask for them. Testimonials. And then we're going to push it to the max. Pepsi Max. Warning. This is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video. Don't skip. Don't fast forward. And pro tip, you can watch it at 1.5x speed if you like. So guys, why do referrals matter? High trust leads. Referrals typically come with a built-in level of trust, making them more likely to convert. So if you do work for a client and then they refer you to someone else, they've been referred by someone that they know and possibly trust and they respect. And it's like, oh yeah, Ben did this video for me. I recommend him. And that person's instantly going to think, okay, cool, this guy's come a recommendation. He probably can do what he says he can do because he's done it for this person who I know and trust. High trust leads, conversions way higher. Really, 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 really fucking strong. Next, we have their cost effective. And this is what no one really realizes with referrals is they require no ad spend or extensive outreach, leveraging your network and client relationship instead. They're free. They are free leads. And you would be surprised how many of these you can get. You can grow a company off referrals. I just don't like to because it's risky. It only really works really well if you're very good at communication and your product is shit hot. And if those things aren't up to spec yet, which is okay, then we can't just rely on referrals. Next, we have social proof power. Referrals serve as an endorsement, validating your expertise in the eyes of your potential clients. Essentially, they are testimonials. That's what makes them so strong. But the thing that really knocks these fuckers out the park, the reason referrals are godlike, why they're, in my opinion, they are the best way for lead gen, providing you do it right, is because they are infinitely scalable. What the fuck are you talking about, Ben? This guy at the top is a client that you've just worked with. Let's call him Bob. And you've done a sick job for Bob and he loved it. And you've delivered all the results and then more. Some you've under-promised, over-delivered, beat the time scale, quality was through the roof. Bob fucking loved it. What you do is you go to Bob, hey Bob, who's two people that you know that could benefit from my service, that could help them the way I've helped you? You don't say, hi Bob, is there anyone you know? Because then it's a yes or no. It's like, who do you know that can help? Because then he has to give you an answer. He has to think of someone. He can't just not think. Like, you can't give people the power to not make a decision. And by just giving them a yes or no, they can just say no. But you say, who do you know? You're gonna put it in their seat of like, okay, I know I actually have to think of someone because I can't just say no to that question because it's not a yes/no question. So Bob refers you to Janet and Jackie, the two people in the middle, right? And then you do a really fucking good job for Janet and Jackie. You knock it out of the park. You underpromise. You overdeliver. Bob was right. Bob told the truth to Janet and Jackie. And all of a sudden, they really like you. You've done them a good service. And you say to Janet and Jackie, hey guys, who do you know that could benefit from my service? And they're like, oh, we know Tracy, Ben, Michelle, and Jessica. And you see what's trying to happen here, guys? All of a sudden, the work you did for Bob has turned into 6 leads, turned into 6 customers. And it didn't cost you anything. If anything, Bob paid you for the work and then converted 2 more sales for you. And this can just keep on going. Providing you're shit hot at what you do and you provide excellent results and you've got good communication skills and you know how to ask for referrals in a way that they won't just get shot down because people get busy after they've paid you in the project, blah, 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 blah. We ask at the right time, we ask the right things, and we get referred. This is why it's my favorite way of getting leads. But it's not the only one. And I know I'm repeating myself because I don't want you to think that you can just do this. You can't just do this. You won't, because you're probably in this situation already where you're just doing this and you're not doing it well enough, A. And B, you need to do other things to keep it consistent up. Because referrals are very much like this. But over the course of 10 years, you'll make a lot of money. Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you this story about my old accountant that we had at Otter. His name was Tim. Really, really nice guy, great accountant. And we brought him in 1 year to do Otter because we had no idea what the fuck we were doing in terms of accountancy. And Tim was great. Really, really loved Tim. He was a really good accountant. You know, we never used anyone else. We used him all the way through. And, you know, Tim said to us, like, oh, if you can refer me to your friends and stuff who need accountants, I'll give you a cash incentive for it. I'll give you like £100 cash, $100 cash, whatever it was. And I was like, sweet, man. And then what we found is people started asking us, like, oh, who's your accountant? Is he any good? And we're like, yeah, Tim's pretty good. Oh, can you put me in touch? Like, yes, definitely can put you in touch. A, because I'm helping Tim out. A, because I'm helping you out. And C, I'm getting paid for it. This is a triple win. And there's a pain in the market because we used to get asked that question like once every couple of months by people we knew of just not liking their accountant. And we knew Tim was likable because he was very approachable. He had like a very hands-on personal approach to things. And that's kind of what makes him an excellent accountant for small business owners. And so what happened was over the course of the 8 years that we were Otto, we must have referred about 10 people to him. And, you know, let's just say that everyone's paying him $3,000 a year for the accountancy fees. That's $30,000 a year from referrals. So over the course of the 10 years, you know, he's made $300,000 from the people that we've referred to him. And he's given us like $1,000. Not that I care about the money given, but like that's the money in, money out metric again. He's given us, you know, £1,000 over the course of that time, and we've brought him that many clients. But here's the kicker. Here's where it gets really fucking sexy. Think of those 10 people that we referred to him. How many of them also referred people to him? It wasn't one. That's probably quite a few, you know. Let's say 5 of them referred one person. All of a sudden, our 10 is 15. And let's say 5 of them, 2 on top of that. Our 5 is 17. Our 10 is 17. Like, it is so scalable that you can build a company off referrals alone. It takes but it just takes a lot longer. It takes a long time, and it's not reliable, but it's still amazing. Like, you really have to see the power in this. Like, it's so good. Yeah, I'm waffling, but referrals are amazing, guys. Don't think they're shit and you can't rely on them. Well, you don't rely on them, but don't feel like it's a shit idea to use them or, you know, not to have them at your foresight, because referrals is something we want to be asking for all the time. So, on that metric, how do we ask for them? Is there a specific way, Ben, that we should be asking for referrals? And the simple answer is, fuck yeah. Timing is key. So we want to ask for referrals directly after or during a positive experience, like completing a successful project or after receiving positive feedback. So you've probably noticed this. You might have asked for a referral a month after the project's ended, and they might just be a bit like, oh yeah, okay, cool. They're in a different headspace at that point, man. They're not thinking about it, you know? We want to really nail our time down, and it's really going to be immediately after the project's done and delivered, Or the point when the project goes live and the results are coming in, it's like, hey man, that video we made for you is getting some conversions, it's doing well. Yeah, cool. Let's get a referral. Let's get a testimonial, right? How do we do that though? We make it easy. We provide a template or example language they can use to introduce you to someone else. So they say, oh, Darren, really glad that you're happy with the video, the design, the website, whatever it is. I would absolutely love it if you know two people. Who do you know that would benefit from my services? To make it easy for you, here's a template of what you can say to them. Here's like a paragraph of what you can say to them, just so you can copy and paste it to them. Just so like, I'm saving you time. Don't worry about it. Here's the language. Change it if you want. But that way, like, there's no excuse. You can just copy and paste it, man. Help me out. Reducing the friction. And also, if you're going to provide example language and stuff like that, it's a lot fucking harder for them to say no, because you're really giving them, you're making it so easy for them to do, but that by saying no is like, what are you doing? Come on, mate. Position it as a favor. Emphasize that you're seeking to help similar businesses, which gives clients an incentive to introduce you. Like, Darren, I really want to help other people achieve X. Who do you know that would benefit? I really want to help people, Darren. I want to help people get here. This is my calling. This is what I want to do. This is what I love doing. Help me, And lastly, incentives. Consider offering a small reward such as a discount or bonus service for each successful referral. I cannot recommend doing this enough. In the past, what I've even done is at the end of the project before the invoice goes in, I say, look, man, if you can refer me to two people that you know, I will take 20% off the invoice, 15% off the invoice, providing they sign. Or I can give you 20% off the next project, whatever it is. Whatever's going to be most enticing to them in that moment, do that. If you know in like 2 weeks' time that you know they're coming back because they're going to need X, Y, and Z from you, like a separate part of the project, you can say, look, man, I'll do that bit for free, but you've got to refer me to two people. Make an incentive for them. And you will be surprised if you do these 4 things, how fucking fast you can bring leads in. And they're not just shit leads. These are some of the best leads you can get because they're referrals. Cool. Testimonials. These are referrals on steroids because they are evergreen. It's basically like saying, this is basically like someone giving you a referral to everyone in the world because you can use it forever. It's not a direct message they give to someone. It's like, here's a proof of how much I love working with you, everything you delivered for us, all the results we got, and you can use it forever for everyone. These are referrals on crack. So, we want to request specific feedback. We want to ask clients to focus on measurable outcomes or specific positive experiences, which makes testimonials more compelling. Ben helped me get from X to X. Ben's design services solved my branding issue, and now more people can reach me and know how to reach me. Ben's video services help converted leads on my website, and now I get more sales. Very specific about the problem you solved, especially if it's in your target niche, right? Like this is where testimonials get really fucking sexy and good, is because if you focus on a niche, which you are going to because you're doing this course, your testimonials become hyper specific to your niche. And when this happens, you're unbeatable, because when work comes along that's in your niche, no one can compete with you. No one can compete with you, because let's say that you're a product food photographer and all of your testimonials are from high-end restaurants saying, oh, Ben is so good at this service. He made, he's changed our menu entirely. Like our brand's changed because of him. We're getting more people through the door. We've opened a second restaurant. Ben's done this for us. I can't recommend him enough, right? Let's say that there's a new high-end restaurant that comes into town and they put an ad out that they're looking for a photographer to shoot their menu. You see the ad and you pitch it, whatever it is, however this brief or this job's come about, and they're saying, "Hi, yeah, Ben, really good to meet you. We're gonna be asking a few photographers to put pictures in." It's like, okay, cool. Well, here's my offering. I'm Ben. I help high-end restaurants improve their branding through high-end photography that tells a story about your food. Don't believe me? Here's 17 testimonials of other local restaurants where I've solved the exact issue for them. Ah, okay. Ben is hyper-focused on the problem I'm trying to solve. These other photographers who are coming in, they're just good photographers, right? And they're going to put prices in. But the price you put in, because you're specialized, can be way higher because you're not competing against them because you're niched. They're going to be competing against it because they're generic photographers. But when you come in, you say, look, here's all the evidence that I can solve your issue. I can do this. I can bring sales. And like, if you can, this is where the daddy money's made. If you can say, look, my work has a direct impact on your ROI. You spend $10,000 on me for a season photography package. We know, we've measured with other clients that over a year, you're going to make that money back and then some from footfall. So like, we can help remove the risk, right? It's amazing. Next, where possible, if you're in the video industry, this is obviously really easy, but maybe not for designers and websites and photographers and all this sort of stuff. Video testimonials for added impact. Whenever possible, get video testimonials. These things are killer for conversions. Killer, guys. Because the problem with nowadays is, as testimonials are obviously very good, but a lot of people fake them. A lot of people say, oh yeah, here's a review from Jasmine, and they just use a fucking image of Google, and they're saying he was so good from a fake company. You can't do that with video testimonials. You can get fake people, but if you have it where, oh, I'm so-and-so from this company, and this is me working at my company, you hire a film crew to go and get a testimonial. If you work with a big client, and the impact you did was massive, hire a video team to go and get a testimonial for you, because that on your website and your social packages and your proposals is going to pay dividends forever. It's evergreen. Like a lot of the work we did at Otter was testimonials because it's so valuable. And we knew it was valuable, so we charged a lot for it. Because the person asking for the testimonial knew that by having it, they were going to make more conversions and more sales. And we knew that. So we became specialists in testimonials, right? Or so they thought. So these things are killer for conversions. We want to use testimonials across platforms. Display testimonials on your website, social media, email marketing to reinforce credibility everywhere. Testimonials are evergreen. I should have put that in green. That would look cool. We can use them forever or until a better one comes along. We can use them forever. This isn't a referral that someone messages you and says, here's a referral. You should go check out Ben. This is Ben. This is everything you did for me. You're amazing. The results. Can't recommend you enough. You can use that every minute of every hour of every day infinitely. And a lot of the time, social proof, testimonials are going to be the thing that convert people at the end. Like, you need social proof. You can't just be a good designer. You have to be a good designer who has provided X for this person, and you've solved this problem for them, and they loved you for it. Lastly, we want to showcase relevant results. So match testimonials with similar types of prospective clients, so industry specific. For example, we helped Gary grow his engagement 10x. He no longer has a lead problem. And this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, is this is why niching is so amazing, because when you link your testimonials with your niche, you just become unstoppable, because you become more and more and more known for being the guy who solves that specific problem, that specific niche with that specific solution. And no one can compete with you that. You can put your prices at where they are, wherever you want, because you know that you can charge for the solving the problem rather than just providing a service, right? If I turn to you, if you're watching this right now and you have a lead gen problem, which you probably do, and I said to you, look, guys, give me 25 grand and I will guarantee all your money back. I will guarantee, or I'll double your money and give it back. In the next 6 months, you will have triple that amount of work coming. Right? So give me 25 grand and I'll guarantee 75 grand's worth of work in the next 6 months. Or I'll give you 50K back. All of you would do that. You would, even if you haven't got 25 grand, you'd fucking get it from somewhere, because I'm giving you a guarantee that you're going to turn 25 into 75 or 25 into 50. You're either doubling or tripling your money. Right? And this is why guarantees and getting really experienced at a niche is so powerful, because the more you work in this niche, the more you understand the pain points, the more that you get better at solving them, the more confident you can be that you solve them, the more confidence you can put on to, I can solve this for you, guaranteed, or your money back. I can get you leads, guaranteed. I reckon I can give you that guarantee. I'm not going to say it's 25K and you need to give me 50, 75K. That's just an extreme example, but like, I'm so confident in lead gen because I did it, that's why I'm making this course, to help you guys do it. Cool. I've highlighted it in yellow. So push it to the max. That's what we're going to do now. So we want to create a referral system. So we want to set up a structured process, like a monthly check-in with past clients to ask for referrals. Darren, I've just launched this new product. Who do you know that would benefit from it? So a lot of the time, if you haven't worked for a client in a while, whatever it is, we want to be doing market research about what sort of product we can invent or bring that's going to solve that problem for Darren, for example, or we know that Darren can recommend it. This is a really strong opener because you can literally say to Darren, like, let's say we know Darren has a problem with something, right? We can invent a product that solves that for Darren, and we say, hey, Darren, I've just launched this product. Who do you know that would benefit from it? Darren's just going to turn around and say, fucking me. I need that. Oh, do you? Oh, we didn't know that. Well, yeah, let's have a conversation. You know, that's not salesy at all. It's like, oh, I've just invented this. Who do you reckon? Do you know anyone who would benefit from it? So we want to have a referral, like it's your structured process system on how we do this month in, month out. And we get better at it. And we hold ourselves accountable, or we hire a coach to hold ourselves accountable to get these things over the line and get these sort of systems built out. Next, we want to leverage testimonials and cold outreach. We include short testimonial quotes and outreach messages to help build instant credibility. So I'm not saying that you should just DM someone on Instagram and say, hey, this person said this about me. But when you do cold outreach, 2-3 messages in and say, oh, yeah, man, I understand the pain you're having with that. Here's a client that we solved that issue for a few months ago. This is what they said. Cool. That builds trust very quickly. We want to turn testimonials into case studies. So expand on testimonials to create in-depth case studies showcasing detailed results and your process. These things are killer for pitch decks because what we've basically done is we've taken a successful client story into a testimonial, and then we've injected steroids into it to turn it into a case study. And what we can do with that is we can then, write about ourselves, the process we did with working with that client, how it helped them. They have put their testimonial in there as well, and their results. And you can say about these are the sort of results that we help other people with. And we can either put that into a video, behind the scenes video. We can make that a pitch deck. And you probably have this issue. A lot of people have this issue where they're like, oh, we're working with someone. They've asked us for examples, but I don't really have any examples that fit in this industry. That's because you haven't niched. But once you niched and you build out case studies within the niche, when someone asks you for relevant experience, you've got fucking case studies in it. You haven't just got testimonials. You've got case studies. Like, you're going to blow them out of the water. You're going to be the go-to person to solve their issue. I know that I repeat myself a lot, and I'm sorry, but like niche-ing, you just need to niche down. Like, that's where the riches are. You need to niche down. Everything just fits in and clicks into place so much better. You can charge more, you can solve more complicated problems, and you just get more and more proof that you are the person to hire for that problem. And guys, the biggest problem that people have in their mind, and this is a limiting belief about niching, is they worry that they're going to shut themselves off from the entire market. You don't need to worry about that in the service-based creative industry because you don't need 100 clients. You don't need 50 clients. You don't need 20 clients. You need like 10 clients to pay you on a monthly retainer. You can do it with fucking 5 clients. You just need to find 5 clients and solve very specific problems and get them onto a retainer or get them onto where you do work more, quite often for them, and just go from there. The problem is that you need to do lead gen because you're not niche enough. You're not solving a problem that's complex enough. And the goal is to do both, right? You can get to a point where you can have 5 clients and you're making 10K a month and you're really happy, and that might be exactly where you want to be. But for people who want to scale, you need to get to that point and then do lead gen and grow and grow and grow and grow. You hit 20K, 30K, 40K a month, $500,000 a year, and keep going that way, right? It takes a lot of work, but the solution, the roadmap to do it isn't overly difficult. It just takes graft. So we want to thank and recognize referrers. So publicly thank those who refer you with their permission to build a positive impact in your network. New work for X. Huge and personal thanks to Jenny for the introduction. My business has grown thanks to her. So this is where we're going to say, we're not going to tell them we're doing it. Obviously, we'll ask for permission to do it. But let's say that, we did that work for Darren. And we're gonna do a LinkedIn post, tag Darren, be like, oh, this is new work for Darren's company. It looks really good. Obviously, it needs to look really fucking good, guys. And huge thanks to Darren for the referral to Jenny, the introduction. My business has grown thanks to him. He's fucking excellent. I really, really thank you, Darren. And what this is going to build credibility, because people who know Darren will be like, oh shit, Darren referred him. That's cool. I like his work. I'm going to message that guy. It's just all social proof. It all just builds and, clicks up in the system. It's a really good way of giving back to people who refer you, as well as like just building up more lead gen. So that was that video, guys. The results are in the work. You fucking got this. Believe in yourself. Do some affirmations, and start putting this into action. You've got your niches now. You've got your messaging. You've got your customer avatar. You know where to find them. You know how to find them. You kind of get an idea of what you say to them. You know the sort of problem you're going to be solving. And yeah, let's start putting this lead gen into practice. Let's start reaching out to people. Let's start doing warm and cold outreach. Let's start making content, and let's start growing. I'm not saying you have to have 10 clients by tomorrow, but let's start getting some quick wins in. Let's put some focus on. Let's do 1 to 2 hours a day for a week on cold outreach, warm outreach. I guarantee you'll get clients. I guarantee you'll get clients. Warm outreach especially. Anyway, into the next video. I love you guys, and I hope you find this valuable. Guys, welcome back to another video. This one is called Customer Success and Experience. I wasn't planning on doing this one, but I think it's quite relevant. And it's something that I really try to champion in my agency and other things that I've done moving forward. And I think it's going to be very, very, very relevant to lead generation, because it's about the metrics that you do after you get the leads and why they matter. So here's what we're going to cover. We need to obsess over the customer, not the competition. We're going to deliver on promises and then some. We want to create a seamless and memorable experience. Build long-term relationships, not transactions. God, they sound good, don't they? Warning, this is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video. Don't skip, don't fast forward. And pro tip, watch me at 1.5 speed. Let's go. So, obsess over the customer, not the competition. Obsession over the competition, guys, is really easy to do. I get it. I used to do it as well. It's hard. What we want to do is just obsess, spend all of our time thinking about how can we bring as much fucking value to the table as possible? How can we deliver results? How can we help them? How can we foresee problems? How can we solve them before they even realize there's a problem? So we want to understand deep needs. Go beyond service level goals. Identify the underlying problems or aspirations clients have that your service can address. Why was this brief created? What is the underlying problem? So let's say you sit down for a meeting with a client and they give you a creative brief and they need you to do this. Okay, cool. Why are we doing this? There's this brief happened because of another underlying problem that we can also solve. Who are we solving it for? What does success look like? What can we do to know that at the end of it, we've really hit the nail on the head? How can we go past success? How can we over-deliver on this? Ask these kind of questions and understand what the deep need is. It's not always, we need a video that does this. Okay, why? Why do we need a video that does that? Oh, because we need to get this message across. Why do we need to get this message across? Oh, because, there was recently some bad article about us that we don't care about X. Okay, cool. So we have a branding problem. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, cool. Well, let's see if we can solve the branding. Right? You see how you get a bit deeper, you get deeper, and then you understand what the real need is? That's the fucking problem we solve. Anticipate future needs. Think about what clients might need before they do. Proactively suggest ideas and solutions to stay a step ahead. Bonus, make it before they ask. So, if a client, if you're a videographer and you know that you're doing a project and you know that this client's probably going to need this in social cut format, in portrait and square and 4:5 and stuff like that at some point, before they even ask you for it, just make it. So, oh yeah, I thought you might need this. Here you go. That client's going to think you're sick because you've anticipated what they're going to need. And by doing that, you make them feel like you understand their problems and their pain points and you're empathetic. And you can't put a price on that, man. They are just going to love you for it. And I'm going to hammer it home again. When you niche, this becomes easier because you get very good and very experienced about what problems they're going to have later on down the line. For example, me knowing you, we can solve this lead gen problem if you put the work in. Your next problem is going to be scale. It's going to be, okay, how can I move these guys onto retainer? How can I use contracts? How can I use, what sort of software do I use to scale? How do I hire people? What do I offer them when I hire? How do I do this? How do I do that? All these other problems that come after you solve lead gen. Because, having more clients, having more leads doesn't solve the business. That's just another problem. You go to the next problem. Business owners, you're just problem solvers, right? There is no end. Billion-dollar companies have problems. And people who make 5K a year have problems. They don't have enough leads. Most people have, that's the thing. Lead generation is just the most common problem, but it's not the only one. You keep going. There's problems that I don't know how to solve, right? I'd have to pay for a coach or a mentor to get me to that level if I wanted to. And that's the point of microeducation. Cool. So, continuous feedback loop. Regularly check in during the project to gather feedback, ensuring you're aligned and making necessary adjustments. Software that automates this will save you time and money. So we want to ideally put a system in place that when a project hits a certain milestone, if it's a third in or it's 2/3 in, etc., then there's be some sort of automation to let the client know where it is. So let's say, for example, that you're a videographer and it gets to, you complete the shoot, right? And it's like, okay, cool, complete the shoot. I've got 2 more shoots this week, and then I'm going to get the edit on Monday. Monday comes along, you're on your CRM, you'll drag the client into a post-production box, which automatically emails the client, let them know that you've started the edit. And then you do the edit in the next couple of days, and then, okay, cool, it now gets dragged into color grading. Client gets emailed, this edit's done, it's now in color grading mode. Cool. Oh, now it's in for review. Now it's in for check. You ever ordered a Domino's pizza, right? And it has the tracking metric. Like, this is kind of what you want for clients. So they know where the project's at all times. They haven't got to ask, they haven't got obsessed, they haven't got to worry. It's just all automated. Everything's just automated for them. That's what they want. That's what you want customer experience to be about, is just making the shit as easy as you fucking can for them and putting their mind at ease all the time. Sorry, guys, I forgot to move the camera. We're back in the corner now. We're nice and big. Cultivate empathy. Always put yourself in the client's shoes to see things from their perspective. The better you get at this, the more money you will make. This is something I learned from my wife. I'm very good at decision making. I'm very good at being results driven, efficiency, stuff like that. But what I was shit at is in my decision making, I would put empathy into the ingredients on which you make a decision. So I would just do things that I thought was the most efficient and the most effective, regardless of how it would make people feel. And that, as a business owner, that's a really good trait. But if you want to be one of the best, you need to bring empathy in. If anything, you need to lead with empathy. And it's really hard to do, because it's like, how far do you push someone in order to get the result done? Like, how much of how they're feeling do you take into the decision making? And that's emotional intelligence, and that's complicated. That's hard. But the more you can cultivate empathy, the better. Okay, cool. So we want to deliver on promises and then some. So under promise, over deliver. Set clear expectations up front. Be transparent about deliverables, timelines, and costs to avoid surprises. Lay out everything in terms of engagement letter or contract. So ideally, we want to have a terms of engagement or a contract that basically stipulates everything we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how much it's going to cost, how much things are. So there's no hidden surprises. The worst thing you can do to a client is get halfway through a project and say, oh, if you want this, it's X. It's like, oh, but we asked for that at the start. Or we kind of assumed we were getting that, blah, 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 blah. Like, regardless whose fucking problem it is, it's your responsibility as the designer, as the creative, to get all that out in the open, to have, like, set expectations clearly, right? And it's going to save you a lot of legwork, guys, just having this set out. Under promise, over deliver. Aim to exceed expectations subtly, whether by delivering early, providing a bonus element, or offering extra value. Do at least one every project. Make it part of your brand. Make it be known that this is what you do. Right? Someone hires you and they've asked you to do X, and you always deliver X and a little Y, X and a little Y, X and a little Y. They become accustomed to it. They become accustomed to the fact that when they work with you, they get more. And this really highlights when they work with someone else who doesn't provide Y. Right? That's when you really come into your own, because like, fuck, we worked with that guy and he just wasn't as good as Ben. And it wasn't that he wasn't as good as me, is that he didn't go the extra mile. Here's a nice little quote for you. When you go the extra mile, there is no traffic. No one's there. No one's driving the car the extra mile. It's just you. Right? There's no one else there doing it. So go the extra mile. Because when you're there, it's so easy to compete. Most people are shit at what they do. Because they don't care. Just getting a bit emotional now. Be relentless with quality. Focus on getting even the small details right, as these can set you apart and leave a lasting positive impression. Not only can they will. Do not get lazy on this. Don't send an expectation of amends. This is something I saw a lot of creatives do. First draft sign off is the ultimate goal. Do not be in this mindset, guys, with a client where you think, this is probably good enough to send to them. They're going to amend it like loads anyway. I'll just get the feedback and see and go from there. Wrong fucking mindset, because your first draft is not the best first draft you could have put in. The goal is always that the first draft, you want to be going for sign off on that. Rare, hard, impossible, no. So many people I saw just had this lazy way of thinking of like, oh, it's good enough to send it, they'll amend it, whatever. Like, guys, like, the first time you send something, make it as good as you possibly can. As good as you possibly can. Because when you do get first draft sign off, it feels amazing. It's like, fucking hell, I understood the client, the brief, the messaging, everything. Everything they weren't thinking about doing, I did. That's the goal. That's how you know when you're shit hot, guys, when you're getting first draft sign offs. Okay? Follow up post delivery. So once the project is complete, follow up to ensure the client is happy with the results and see if there's anything more you can help with. Systemize this. Automate this. Within our CRM, when a project gets moved into complete, a week later they get sent an email asking for referrals, testimonials, things like that. Maybe a bit sooner for referrals and testimonials because we want them in that sweet spot, that Goldilocks zone of heat when they're just finished the project and they're really happy. We want to systemize as much as we can on this because this takes work, and it's not so much the work of doing it, it's the work of remembering to do it. Hence why we want to systemize it. Cool. Next, we want to create a seamless and memorable experience. What do I mean by that? So we want to have effortless communication. Keep your communication clear, prompt, and organized to make the process easy for the client. Systemize this so that different things happen within your CRM, the customer is notified, which I spoke about earlier. Showcase the customer journey. Outline each project phase for the client, providing transparency and keeping them involved without overwhelming them. Milestones. So, if you are a designer, you would put this into 3 phases, perhaps. You would have first phase is consultation and brand transparency of what we're going to build. Second phase is delivery of first draft. And third phase is project completion. At each milestone, you have a catch up, and maybe they pay part of the invoice as well. That's what I'd recommend doing. And go through that way. People don't move on to the next milestone until everyone's in agreement. That way, you don't get to the end of a project and you've massively misjudged it, or you've done it wrong, or the client expectations were wrong. This is why fluid communication via a customer journey via milestones is really key, and it's going to save you a lot of time and effort. Make problem resolution a priority. If something goes wrong, address it immediately and personally, offering solutions and maintaining transparency. You're a partner, not an employee. Take full responsibility on the results. If what you make doesn't hit the results that you promised or said it would, it is your responsibility. Do not go blaming people for X, Y, and Z, how this happened, how that happened. It's your fault. Take responsibility. Own it. Improve it. Fix it. You're a problem solver. As a business owner, you are not a service provider. You are a solution provider. So resolve it. Resolve the solution. Cool. Build long-term relationships, not transactions. So we want to stay in touch beyond the project, keep in contact for check-ins, sharing insights, celebrating their successes to foster loyalty. This is something we spoke about in all the other videos, but I want to put in here as another touch point. We want to create opportunities for growth. So we're going to show clients how they can benefit from continued work with you, whether by introducing new services or ideas. Big money is made here. 30% of your revenue will come from this, from upselling to existing clients and referrals, if not more. But as an average, an industry standard is around 30%. I don't want to hammer it home too much because I feel like I've really banged on about this through the course. But yeah, man, like loving your clients, looking after them, and upselling to them. Like, you don't need to have a big client base. You just need to have a small, dedicated team of true fans, of true clients who love working with you and love the results you deliver. And that'll be enough to feed you forever, especially if you build a personal brand. Turn clients into friends. Where possible, go beyond the B2B relationship, get to know them, and let them get to know you. Clients buy, friends stay. Clients buy, friends stay. Client might buy from you once, you never fucking hear from them again. Make them a friend, they'll stay around, they'll check in, they'll say, how are you? You'll say, how are you? What's going on? The reason this gets really popular, I'll give you an idea, a metric here, is in my time at the agency that I ran, the amount of times where I had a good relationship with someone and they would leave the company they were working at and they would go work for another company and they would bring us in to be a service provider, solution provider for that company. But not only that, we were still working for the last company they worked at. So that client has brought us into 2 separate companies because we became friends, because we had a tighter relationship. That happened multiple times. And that's where lifetime value of a client can really grow. Because if you have someone if you can find someone in marketing, for example, at a company, and they're hot shit, like you know that they're either going to get promoted or they're going to go to another place and get promoted, and they're going to hop and grow the ladder, become friends with these people. And get really fucking good at helping them. Make the shit they ask you to make for them, make it so good that their status at the company increases. Because if you make them look good, they're going to like you a lot. And if they like you a lot, they're going to keep coming back. And when they keep changing up the corporate ladder, they're going to employ you more and more. Like I said, to reiterate, the amount of clients, the big clients we had at Otter, we didn't just land them on day one. We worked with them for years, and they grew and grew and grew. They grew from a company making 100 grand a year into 8 million a year. You know, that's how you do it, is time. Working with these people day in, day out, helping them, becoming a long-term solution partner. Actively seek and apply feedback. Regularly ask for feedback to understand where you can improve, reinforcing their success. The goal is to get to a point where feedback and praise become the same thing. So you want to get to a point where the feedback you get is always positive. And it just sounds like praise because you're always delivering, right? You want it to be the same thing. At the start, when you're figuring shit out, you're going to get feedback that isn't always going to be positive, but use that to grow. And eventually you'll get to a point where feedback is always positive, and the difference between feedback and praise is the same. I hope you enjoyed that video. I don't know if it was overly needed for lead gen, but this is something I'm very passionate about as customer journey, making sure the customers you have, you really fucking sort them out, because so many people leave so much money on the table by not focusing on these metrics, not focusing on how they can bring people from X to Y. And nurturing their client list and upselling to them and making sure that once the project's done, it's not over. Okay? You need to start thinking of long-term value on clients. You don't think of, oh, this client's come in, they've given me $3,000. Cool. That's $3,000. It's like, nah, man. Who can they refer you to that's going to give them more money? It's going to give you more money? And what sort of services can you upsell? What sort of retainers can you build for this client? Right? How can we work together for years, not weeks? And then all of a sudden, your lifetime value of a client goes up dramatically, and therefore so does your business, because it's so much easier to keep clients than it is to get new ones. But yeah, that's it for the course, guys. I hope that's given you enough. I may add some other stuff in later down the line, but if not, let me know. Drop me a DM and let me know how you got on, or post in the community, and post if you got any wins. Like I'm expecting people to have wins here. Like if you're doing the warm outreach, cold outreach at the start, and you're posting organic content, within a month, within a few days, you can get clients and you will get leads. You just got to put the time in. But I believe in you. You can do it. I believe in you. Yeah, cool. Checking out. See you soon.